and of course it is Halloween. I'm I'm nothing, but Joe is a sort of Elvira mix there.
I don't
Definitely scary looking, but good in a good way. How you doing this morning, Joe?
I'm good. I'm good. How about yourself?
Good. I think Virginia just scored another touchdown. It's still going. That game was. I knew it was going to be one of those games, and man, it is. I think it was 21-0 in the first minute.
Yeah.
It was craziness. But we've got NFL football today. We had some wild finishes yesterday. My Canes getting the big win. I was so excited, man. I thought it was good. I screamed once. I gave one good yell, one good go Canes, and that was it. I didn't lose my voice. I was so excited that they were able to do it, and to see that we finally have a quarterback that's not afraid to throw the ball down the field like on a laser to our receivers. Man, we could beat anybody. We gotta go.
So, are you like a woohoo yeller or a yeah yeller?
I'm kind of an all yeller, except if I'm at the game, I'm in your face yeller. Okay. I'm a Canes fan. It's like we do things a little differently, and it's everyone knows it, they expect it, and it's what we do. But it was a big win for us. We have more wins over ranked teams than Ohio State does. We have back-to-back weeks beating ranked teams, so pretty exciting. And to see TVD throw for over 400 yards, hitting those wide receivers. Oh man, it was amazing. It was kind of just like if the defense gets a little better, you could see us going next level. But it's gonna take, we're gonna need some defensive help. But hey, whatever it takes, we get a big win on the road against a ranked team. We will take it any day of the week.
Absolutely. I was cheering for you yesterday. It was great to see Mitch.
I thought there was some other really good games yesterday. That Michigan State game was outstanding, and we saw two teams that we've seen traditionally, and at least under two head coaches that traditionally have trouble in the fourth quarter, have games just totally crumble around them. We saw Steve Sarkisian at Texas, once again. Fourth quarter comes around. I believe that Texas has blown 4 fourth quarter leads this season to lose games, and then Jim Harbaugh, the mess in East Lansing, the largest comeback in that series in 17 years. And I have to say, if they would have played another 15 minutes, it would have been an ugly one-sided score. They just had very few answers, and it was a major choke job. Down the stretch. I think when your quarterback fumbles the exchange or running back down the stretch, that is coaching.
Yeah, that absolutely is. I can't believe some of those plays that we saw like that. And there was a couple of games like that yesterday where I just shook my head and couldn't believe what was happening.
Yeah, plus Michigan is soft and we hate them.
We had the bad beat or good win for the Clemson Florida State, depending which side you're on. I was able to tap dance around that, but I did get roasted on the Maryland game where they scored the touchdown to go up by, or they scored the field goal to go up by 10, and only to give up a long pass with like 25 seconds left to go in the game, and then they just let them punch it in, which I hate that. But, it happens, and it's part of the game, the old backdoor cover. But
Florida State got me hurt yesterday. Yeah, that's for sure.
I think a lot of people got bruised on that one, on the Florida State game. I thought Auburn.
So now Clemson has covered one game.
Yes.
So they are now 1-8 against the spread.
I think what we saw also yesterday is that the hitting is definitely elevated, to this part of the season. And speaking of heavy hitters, let's bring in Joe D'Amico. He's kind of like our kickoff guy that we have, every week on the show. Let me see. God, supposed to have this all done ahead of time, and of course I didn't. And
that's okay. We'll get him in any second here. I want to say good morning to everyone who is watching, and thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning, Joe. How are you doing today?
I'm okay, Mitch. Joe, good morning to everybody out there. I have to, Mitch, I can pretty much, I can't remember every good date I ever had in my life. I can remember every bad one. As you were talking about some bad beats, I personally had Florida State yesterday. I was doing some work on today's NFL games, and I'm not a guy that watches games a ton or all day long. I'm not that. And for anybody out there that handicapper or you viewers out there that do that, more power to you if it works for you. I'm not a
Guilty
guy
as
that
charged.
I can't watch a ton, Mitch. Sometimes I overthink things if I watch too many things, so I stand to get devoid of it. I detach myself a little bit. I don't check scores. I really don't. But I want to tell you, I had that Florida State team, and Dion was not, my wife is not feeling well, wishing her a quick and speedy recovery. She's still not feeling well, but, I had that game. But like I said, I don't remember every good date, but I remember every bad date that I ever had in my life. And I just want to wish every Florida State player, their coaching staff, the students, and anybody that's ever graduated from the school, I hope you all catch an STD, because I'm very upset, Mitch, at that whole situation.
Wow, Joe.
2 seconds left. It was horrible. It was ugly. It was ugly. And, I lost the game, and it sticks in my head. I had Michigan State earlier. I was happy. But to anybody out there that followed me yesterday, man, I take that full responsibility for that. But I really do. I'm upset at Florida State. This one will haunt me, Mitch, for years to come. As I'm handicapping a game, any Seminoles game, this will stick in my head. Go, wait a minute. Remember that time. And that for me, that I do that. There's certain teams that I look at sometimes and I go, wait a minute. I remember that time 9 years ago when they hurt me like in the last second of the game. It upsets me. I'm sorry for anybody that followed me on that game. Everybody was happy with Michigan State, but I've got a couple of good winners on the Pick Dogs board today, including a free one for everybody today, Mitch.
Yeah, I had that Eagles-Seahawks game last year on whether it was Sunday night or Monday Night Football or whatever, and that I felt haunted me for many, many, many months, and I feel like I'm still just coming out of that. It's like I was looking through my records over the past year because this hasn't been a great year for me in picking the games. I can always admit it, but it just seems that in every sport, I'm just a couple of games here or there, away from it. It's not like I'm just getting crushed anywhere, it just feels like it sometimes. And it's like a lot of these games, I know I'm a little different than a lot of the other cappers and, on the sites and stuff, because I have a little bit different responsibility because I've been doing this for a long time. People expect to see a lot of picks from me, and they expect to pick on Thursday night, and they expect to pick on, the MAC games this week, coming up every day. And they expect all that stuff from me, and I have to deliver that because that's what I do. And, so it's like you take out those games, I have, basically winning records and everything. But it's like I do pick those games, and if they count it, if I win them, I certainly count them. So I'm certainly not going to blame it there. But we have a larger NFL card today. But it's not, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like, I don't see the games jumping off the page at me, the way I would hope. And, sometimes I see some games on here which almost like scare me, or it's like kind of like, just seems too easy, It's like, you see, what do you got for us today?
Well, Mitch, I will say this, I don't know if I spoke to a friend of mine who is the president of race and sports for a major firm out here in Vegas. They're not all over the world. They're here in Vegas. He's got about 5 or 6 books here. He told me yesterday, that their NFL, that their handle on the NFL was very low as of yesterday morning. It was the lowest it's been all season going into college football Saturday. And I said it, but it was already granted. It's because I think the lines are getting sharper and people are waiting, the general public's waiting to see how they do on Saturday, getting their beat and how much they got to double up on Sunday. I think the lines are getting very, very sharp. I think this is the one that stood out to me. And we're going to talk about going against the grain a bit, Mitch, Joe, and everybody out there, talking about the Steelers-Browns. Guys, Baker Mayfield's shoulder issue has prompted the general public to come in on the Steelers today. As a lifelong contrarian, I've made a successful career going against the grain, and I'm going to do it again here. The Browns' rushing attack is the best in the league, and let's be honest, their passing game, it's nothing to write home about. So Baker Mayfield's shoulder, not a major issue for me. Even last week, my friends, Case Keenum was at the helm. They edged the Broncos because of the ground game and the defense. Let's talk the Pittsburgh offense. Big Ben, He ain't no kid anymore, my friends. And without the superstars around him each week, he's looking more and more mortal. Najee Harris, they don't have a running game. Najee Harris, I like him. I think he's got a great talent. I loved him in college. I think he's got a future. But right now, 3.8 yards per carry, only 2 TDs. So doesn't have that significance yet. And defenses, they don't have to really key on him just yet. The Cleveland defense, equally good against the pass and the rush. Their stop unit, along with their running backs, are the reason for their success. But there's one more major factor, my friends. That is the trenches. And this contest is going to be one of the trenches. There is no question that the Browns are far superior on both lines of scrimmage. Home team is 5-2 against the number of the last 7 meetings in this rivalry. Pittsburgh 1-4 against the spread. The last 5 versus division opponents. 1-4 the last 5 overall. They used to really beat up on division opponents. Mitch, Joe, we've seen this division particularly switch where Cincinnati and Cleveland we're getting whoopings every week in and week out, season in, season out. Now, and now we're seeing Cleveland and Cincinnati kind of come through week in and week out. I like Cleveland here. I think that this is going to be bigger than the point spread, but I'm going to take them minus the points today.
Wow.
Joe, what do you think of this one?
You know what? This is going to be a really tough fought battle in this one. I am liking the under. I think we see a great play out of both defenses. But there's a couple of things that I can't look past to bet on the Browns. So when we look at the Browns in their last 6 games, in week 8, they're 0-6 against that spread. And that is not the main key factor for me liking the Steelers today. It's Mike Tomlin off a bye. We've seen him the last 4 years off a bye. He's 4-0 straight up. So Steelers plus the points is the only way I could go if I'm picking a side in this one.
So the Browns woodshedded the Steelers last year in the playoffs, and, it wasn't like a fluke. It wasn't as close as the scoreboard said at the end. It was a one-sided domination. And to me, it could be we got your number thing going on there. And so you always have to be leery. Then you throw in this number, right? This 4-point spread. And I'm not even looking at betting percentage. I can bring them up, and I can only guess what they are, is that there's a lot of bets on the Steelers and a lot of money on the Browns. I'm just going to guess off the top of my head because I've been to a Vegas sports book before on an NFL Sunday, and I just count the jerseys, right? I don't need to look at this. I go to the books, go over to the Westgate, go over to, you know where you even go even better than that? Go to a place like the Emerald Stadium or something and count the Steelers jerseys at places like that, right? And that's where you see it, right? Because that's where, as Bitler calls them, the public, right, or squares or whatever you want to call them, that's where these guys are, right? Sitting there, taking up the space of the people that are actually betting on the games. And the thing is that, the Steelers fans do that more than anybody, and they do, It just seems that to me, knowing the web traffic and all of these things that I see on the Steelers games and stuff. So actually, it's 52% of the bets on this sample, which I don't know where the hell this information comes from, but it's 52% of the bets and 12% of the money here on the Steelers, which is a lot. Do the books want to take that kind of hit? But when you see the Steelers getting 4 points in a game like this and the line rising, it's like they're begging you to take them, They're begging you. And it's like you don't see begging for the Steelers. It's like begging for the Packers or Cowboys. You just don't see it,
Gotcha.
So I'm with you. I like the Browns here.
Thank you, Mitch. Great minds think alike. Joe, I got to say that I think you look lovely today dressed up in your Halloween outfit.
Oh, I just didn't put makeup on today, that's all.
This is how she normally looks.
This is pre-makeup.
We call this Sunday.
Exactly.
Mitch, that's how I looked after I found out the Florida State Clemson final score yesterday. But I didn't put any makeup on. I looked just like that, though.
The beauty of it is, Joe, is that, people can say whatever they want about me, and, they can love me, they can hate me, they can fade me, they can bet with me, but the one thing they can't, knock me, I have the best co-host in the world, right?
Absolutely.
It's
and I do want to say something else, Mitch. Somebody who's been around the block a lot. The transparency that we get for wins and losses, particularly. There's people out there that will never tell you about a loss. They won't talk about a loss. And even my Bash brother, Brian Bitler, who'll be on later, I believe, he talks about losses because he's such a good capper, and they stick in his crow just like they do me. And your transparency, Joe's transparency, the guys on the show, it's amazing because you don't get that anywhere else, because they do happen fewer and far between, and you do have the best crew out there on one panel. It's amazing. I look around here, it's like being at an all-star game, All right, I'm the Ricky Henderson because I lead off on Saturdays, but then you got a Derek Jeter, you got Jamaica. I mean, it's just a great lineup, and I love being on here. And, the weekend stuff is just a lot of fun to kick off the weekend. It's a great way to set the tone for the day. So thanks for having me, man.
I always quote that line from Wolf of Wall Street. I ask you not to grade me on my winners. I ask you to grade me on my losers because I have so few.
I love it. 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 I got to tell you, I know Tony Brown's on later. He's got the best smile in the business. I see him in the waiting room. Best smile I've ever seen. I can't wait to do one of these mornings. We're going to surprise you because he's a Vegas guy. Me and Tony are going to be in my backyard or his backyard. And I don't know if we're going to be just waking up from coffee or just going to bed from cognac. But me and him are going to get together one of these mornings, and we're going to surprise you together. We're going to be in the same screen.
I definitely think the second option would be a Hunter show.
I'm making an out price. That's going to be an out price, Joe.
What do you got for sale today, Joe? Pick Dogs.
Mitch, Joe, the last two Sundays, my NFL premium plays right here on Pick Dogs 5-2, including 3-0 and some of my major games, my big games. This Sunday, I only have big games. Only 2 games on the board. I thought a lot of the card. I thought the lines were sharp. I have my 6-1 high roller. They're 6-1 this year. My 28-6 consensus plays. Last few years, they're 28-6. Guys, both big game winners are available right now on Pick Dogs. Go there. It's a great time to get a 3, a 7. We got multiple sports. I'm fortunate to be on several leaderboards, and college basketball just around the corner, man. My favorite time of the year, Mitch, Joe. So grab one of those packages. Or team me up. Team me up with Mrs. D, who couldn't be on the show today. She's not feeling well. My Bash brother, Brian Bitler. Man, I love him. Team me up with the best smile in the business, Tony Brown, some of the other guys. You're not going to go wrong. This is the best crew anywhere, Mitch and Joe. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Joe. And, of course, wish Dion the best from us, and we hope that she feels better. We know that she was way under the weather yesterday. We appreciate that she braved it out. Certainly not mandatory by any stretch, but she wanted to be there. So it was like, but
we would have had to get her somebody to do sign language for her because she really can't talk today. But thank you, and I'll give her your best wishes. And thanks for having me, everybody. Good luck. Have a winning day. God bless.
Best of luck today, Joe.
Thanks, everyone. Once again, Joe D'Amico kicking it off like we do every week with Joe. And it's one of those NFL cards. We've got a lot of games, but it's not a full card, but it certainly feels like one. We definitely have a full card of cappers today. So,
for sure. And there's definitely a lot of games that just have avoid written all over them for me today.
Yeah, me too. I have a few games where it's like, I think we're going to at halftime where I'm going to have a lot more action than usual, which I know is a reach because I always have a lot of halftime action. But I think that
it's amazing how at halftime we can have 5 bets on the second half.
It's crazy, and it's like it's almost like doing the half times with Joe's is like going shopping with my wife. It's like I'm saving money, but somehow I just spent like $8,000. It's like I don't understand what just happened. It's like
absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun, and of course we'll be live for the half times today as well. And we're gonna bring in Tony Brown next. I got to find his nameplate. Not I'm gonna make him one on the fly while we bring him in.
Yeah, for sure. I'm excited to have Tony Brown here today.
Let's see what we have. Nope, that is someone else. And
so it's not snowing here today. I'm very happy to look outside and see a little bit of snow on the ground, but no snow falling this morning. Puts me in a way better mood. It's going to be a better day for sure.
It's gonna be an awesome day today.
Absolutely. You get to spend like the whole day with me.
But we'll bring in, of course, it's weird because it's like we spend so much time together like during the week, and then Saturday, which is a giant day for sports, we kind of just have our morning show and that's it, and then it's like Sunday, then it's back 6 shows, it's like back in action. But speaking about 6 shows, we got Tony Brown with us. Tony, I'm going to get your nameplate fixed. I can't find it in our thing, so I'm just going to make you one on the fly. And that's what I do. We just make it happen. We don't wait. We don't wait for it to happen or wonder what happened. We just
make it happen.
Make it happen.
What's Tony, up, before you get to your games today, what are your thoughts on your Raiders?
I mean, unbiased thoughts are just, I'm wearing these Raider clothes. I mean, 5-2, this is like one of the better starts we could have. I think we let that Chicago game slip away from us. We should literally be 6-1 right now.
Absolutely should. I'm so impressed with them. They've been a moneymaker for me.
Yes, ma'am, all day long and twice on Sunday.
Absolutely. I'm so impressed with what I'm seeing out of Derek Carr as well. I think he's one of the most underrated quarterbacks right now.
For sure. He should have got his money. We should have signed him to the big contract. He took us to the playoffs for the first time in years. Unfortunately, he had broke his leg or whatnot. But, I mean, what are they waiting on over there? Our organization is a mess, but I'm just glad to see we're playing well on the field. Yeah,
absolutely. It's been a lot of fun to watch them.
Yeah. Oh, man. And I've been blessed enough to go watch them in person, like several games already. And that stadium's outstanding. They keep saying SoFi is better, but I don't know. I don't think so.
You're going to have to come live with us from there one of the times that you go next.
For sure. Anytime.
Well, Tony, interesting card, but the Raiders are off today. But what do you?
I still represent.
Can we still bet them?
I'm still representing my Canes after yesterday, and I will continue to represent my Canes. It's all about the U.
All day.
All about the U, man. Anyways, it feels almost like we're back, and I know our defense isn't good enough to be fully back, but to see the home run hitters at wide receiver and running back, man, I am just stoked to see.
I know you had the best day yesterday. I remember my very first show, we had that long debate about how Michigan was soft, and I didn't think so, and you told me all the reasons they were, and then you gave me all the stats about Miami. So to get the Miami win and the Michigan loss in the same day, that was it for you, huh?
It was a great day, but I just think for me to see TVD throwing those balls down the field, just lasers to wide receivers who they all run 4.340, so it's like they're gonna be open. It's like not lobs, not little passes, just lasers down the field. And then seeing Knighton, who's not really like a bruiser back. I mean, he is a home run hitter, and it's like to see him just tearing off 15 yards a clip against a team that had only had one loss going in. But anyways, back to NFL. I'll talk Canes with you guys all day. Soon we'll be going through the entire history of Canes running backs if you don't watch out. But what do you got for us today as far as a free pick?
All right, for the free pick, I got two of them for you if I got time, so I'll be brief. The first one,
do it up.
Well, the first one is we're going to go with Atlanta, and it's crazy for me to even say that because Atlanta's one of those teams when you don't bet them, they always win. Then when you bet them, they always seem to disappoint you or something. But right now, these are two teams just headed in separate directions. Everybody knows Carolina goes as McCaffrey goes. He's a legit MVP. He touches the ball every possession, it seems like, whether as a running back or receiver. They were 3-0 with them in, and they lost 4 straight with them out. And now Atlanta, they did a complete 360. They won their last 3 games straight up. And, you know what I mean? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're at home. Matt Ryan, he's a veteran. It wasn't his fault they lost the Super Bowl. Both of those coaches were let go. They made some horrible decisions, but he was up 28-3 on Tom Brady just a couple year removed. So this may be his last shot at it. He's not getting any younger. I think they need to win as many games as they can, and it's just a 3-point spread over an injured Carolina on the road. This one might be easy for us to get a win, and we're going to take Atlanta -3 for the free play.
Joe?
This one scares me. We got 2 struggling teams, nonstop struggling. We got a total of 46.5. I kind of like that under. I keep getting behind this Panthers team, and they keep doing me wrong. So I'm not going to take a side in this. If I had to, I would take the Panthers, 8-2 against the spread on their last 10 road games. But this Falcons team is 10-3 against the spread in their last 13 versus teams with losing records. So it's kind of, half of one, half a dozen of the other in this one. So give me the under.
I like the Falcons. I'm with you, Tony. I don't like the way the Panthers are playing, and they get Gilmore back today, first time actually that he's going to be playing in a Panthers uniform. But I don't think that's enough to help him. I think they're in some serious trouble. And like you said, when McCaffrey's not in there, they don't win football games. And Sam Darnold, they have 1 foot in and 1 foot out on this guy. It's like you can say he's my quarterback, it's like the Terrell Owens, remember? It's like he's my quarterback, It's like you could say that all you want, but everyone hears the Deshaun Watson rumors, We all hear it. And it's like I live in Hawaii, I hear the rumors,
Right.
And it's like, will Deshaun Watson waive his it's not like, oh, we're not interested. It's this guy won't waive his no trade to go there.
Right.
And it's like that's where the rub is, here in that deal. I fully believe that it has nothing to do with the Panthers' interest or lack of interest. It has everything to do with that no trade clause that Watson has, and with Miami being the only team that he's waived it for. So, we'll have to see how it plays out. I said the same thing about the 49ers. When you don't have a clear-cut quarterback, you have no quarterback.
Right.
Tony T was on our show on Friday. He had some interesting quarterback thoughts, and he just said, I like the way the Dallas. His thoughts were, and I'll quote him. He said that he likes the way the Dallas Cowboys handle the backup quarterback because they figure if it comes to the backup quarterback, they're not going to win anyway. So why invest one dime in this? And I think that's what I think that's where the Panthers are. I think they're kind of just like they're not sure what to do here, and it's like if they go Deshaun Watson, it's all in for them, and if they don't. Well, because with Sam Darnold, I think they're doubting what they have.
I was reading some stuff though that the Texans fully intend to keep Deshaun Watson.
Oh well, it's tough to trade a guy with 22 allegations, because the liability on the other side. It's like say you give up, Tua, or they want McCaffrey right from the Panthers is who they want, and say you get.
Though, because it's tough to trade him, but this is even harder to start a guy with 22 allegations, right? But they were fully willing to start him if he cooperated.
Well, I mean, what's his name? Josh Gordon seems to get signed every 3 weeks, and so does Antonio Brown. So it's like it's not all of a sudden everyone's Antonio Brown's catching touchdowns from Tom Brady. Everyone's forgotten about these last 5 years of living hell that he's put everybody through, not just people that are fans. Right, not just people that are fans, but just everybody that watches football that we have to hear this crap, about this
and then
jerk.
look at Mike Vick. Mike Vick came out of jail and came back to the field.
But he did his time. Deshaun Watson is still yet to be, the story's yet to be written here on Deshaun Watson, where exactly this goes. It's like this could be, this could be a Stan Bowman situation, or this could be, nothing. We don't know. My guess is I still want to see Urban Meyer's emails. That's all I got to say.
Right.
I want to see him. I got to see him. I got to see Urban Meyer's emails. You're going to call out Gruden on his emails? I don't know what they said. I have no idea. I haven't seen them. I haven't read it. I have no idea. But I would like to see I'd like to get to pick 5 NFL coaches and get to see all their emails going back the last 10 years. And Urban Meyer is number 1 on my list.
What a book that would be. Those emails.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
I want to see what
they
this.
Should put them
I
into
want
a
to see
book
it.
And release it.
What do you think Urban Meyer's emails look like? Anyway, Tony, what do you got next for us? Because we could do a show on that,
For sure, and I'll be your co-host for that one because that's crazy. I want to see those too. But in lighter news, we're going to the Philly game and we're going to the Detroit game, and we're just going to take the total in this one. I told you guys before, I rarely take totals, and when I do, I take unders. This will be like the once in a lifetime. I'm going to take the over. Detroit defense is horrible. Philly's defense is horrible. Detroit is looking for their first win, so they're going to give it all they got on the offensive side. And Jalen Hurts in the Philly offense isn't too bad. I mentioned on my first show that I think Hurts got a raw deal out there in Alabama. He was doing absolutely wonderful. He got hurt. They bring Tua in, and then Tua is just the darling of the NFL, the star of Alabama. They forgot Hurts was doing all that stuff before he got hurt. So he's doing good out there in Philly. I think they put up as many points as they want to against the Detroit defense. That's not going to stop them. And I also think Detroit doesn't want to start half the season 0-8. They're going to try to do as best as they can. And Philly's defense isn't, they play defense like it's optional. So I think we see scoring early and often. And it's just 48 points when I last looked. I think we get 50, 55, one of those crazy games you can put on a teaser and just light up the scoreboard all day.
Tua threw that rope in the national championship game against Georgia. I think the writing was on the wall. Joe, what do you think of this one? I know you're a big Jared Goff fan.
I absolutely love Jared Goff. I worship the ground he walks on. Not.
Trick or
Tony,
treat.
I love that. Yeah, trick or treat. I love that statement you just made. They play like defense is optional. That is the truest statement I have heard about these two teams, and I'm going to steal that line from you for sure. I think we do see an over game in this. Both teams fighting for their life. Both teams are letting their fans down, letting bettors down, and both really want this win, both hungry. So give me the over as well.
I just I don't know, man. I can't watch this crap. It's like this is one of those things the NFL's like, how about if we put on the Lions-Eagles? Do you think people will watch this? You know, it's like if they put this one on Thanksgiving or like a Thursday night or Monday night football or Sunday night football, it would do like a giant rating, like a World Series game, you know, but today it's not going to. I don't know. This to me is it's a tough watch, you know, and we're seeing like slight action on the over, but really nothing that jumps off the page at me. We've seen some line movement to the over with not that much money on it, so I don't know. I guess it's a lean for me. What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs? We got a lot of cappers waiting here.
Yeah, okay, well, cool. It's my Super Sunday today. This is my favorite time of year. Every single sport is in play, especially today. We got the World Series game, hockey, NBA, and, of course, NFL Sunday. So I have a 10-pack. It's a Sunday 10-pack of plays. I didn't turn into Nostradamus all of a sudden. I didn't pick 10 games in one sport. A 3-play from the NHL, a 3-play from the NBA, a 3-play from the NFL, and, of course, a World Series pick. So just a couple 3 plays in one game, but it all leads up to 10 big plays. You can get it with my Tony's Top 10 and cash out big. It's the last day of the week, last day of the month. Save my best for last.
Massive card from Tony Brown today. Tony, thanks for stopping by. Hopefully we see you next week.
Oh, man, anytime. Thanks for having me. See you guys later. Happy holidays.
Of course, that was
All the best, Tony.
That was Tony Brown. We've got Ron Romanelli up next in our spot. Of course, you know, that Florida-Georgia game, for me, it was one of those ones where, I don't know, I thought Florida would show up. I thought they did show up in that game. But I think at the same time, you know, there's that 2 minutes and 13 seconds or whatever that will go down. And, you know, this is one of those games, one of those rivalries where they'll be talking about that 2 minutes and 13 seconds for a very, very long time, forever, until, you know, long after we're gone. They will be speaking about that that last couple minutes there before the half, especially that last pass that got taken to the house. I don't know, Ron. What's the mood in Gainesville with the Gators at 500?
Yeah, I mean, just
not acceptable.
It's disappointing.
Not acceptable.
No, it's not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
You know, I think just going into that game, I think most of the fans, it was half and half. I think some fans had optimism. Some fans just pretty much knew it was not going to be pretty. But, I mean, like you said, I think that they did show out. I mean, they were moving the ball. They had a missed field goal and a turnover on downs in the beginning of the game, which is more than what most people do against Georgia. But like you said, that those final 2 minutes, man, I mean, it was 3-0 with the ball. I mean, the Gators picked off Bennett, got it to the 2-yard line. It looked like, you know, if they can put up a field goal or just get to the half down 3-0, getting the ball in the third quarter, you know, you got a shot, but just a couple mistakes and the game's 24-0, just like that. So, you know, it was a tough one to watch. I definitely took it. I turned the game off at halftime and didn't want to watch the rest of it. But yeah, just going to be a disappointing year, and there's definitely going to be some changes up front. I think we're going to see a lot of changes.
Let's talk about the $7,570,000 that Dan Mullen is paid a year to coach that football team. When you pay a coach $7.57 million to coach the Florida Gators, the expectation is going to be higher than $1 million a win, and that's really a best case scenario at this point. It is, you know, it could be the Music City Bowl for the Gators this year. That would be they would. I think if it's Music City Bowl, I think they eat the contract.
I could see it, and I don't think they're going to be ranked at the end of the year, even if they win out. So, you know, you're probably going to get one of those low-end bowls. and who even plays in that game. Plenty of the prospects that are going to be going to the NFL, like Kaiir Elam, he's probably not going to play in that game. So just like last year, they sat a bunch of players in that bowl game because it wasn't enough for Florida fans, even though it was a pretty prominent bowl. I'm forgetting the name of it, against Oklahoma. But, just rough, not looking good. And I think we're going to have a few years of struggle. It's going to be a rebuilding time in Florida football.
Yeah, I think, Miami, what they did was, Larry Coker had won a national championship there. But when all was said and done, we were playing on the blue turf in Boise in the Idaho Potato Bowl, and that was it. It was like, we're not, not a happy day for Canes fans. And he was gone. Take your ring with you. Mullen hasn't even delivered that. But we got NFL football today. Lots of Gators on the field, of course, in this one. Plenty of Bulldogs as well. What do you got for us as far as a free pick?
Yeah. Well, I know it's Halloween, and I know we are pick dogs, but I do have a cat myself. His name is Hooks, so I had to represent my cat. I was going to bring him on the show, but I picked him up, and I was going to practice with him. He actually scratched me on my face. So I said, all right, get the hell out of here. We're going to do it without the cat. But I got my ears on anyway. But we're going to talk about this Titans-Colts game. We got two teams. They're both 3-1 in their last 4, but really you're only hearing about the Titans because of the public attention they're getting with those wins over the Bills and the Chiefs. The Tennessee, those are two big emotional wins for them, but they're now going back on the road. That's where I have a problem with Tennessee. They haven't been good on the road this year. You look, last time they were on the road, they took down the Jaguars, but that scoreline, it really wasn't what the game was. I mean, the Jaguars were moving the ball in that game. It wasn't too sharp of a performance from Tennessee. And then the week before, or the game before on the road, they lost to the Jets outright. So, I mean, we know this Titans team struggling on the road this season, coming off 2 emotional games. I think this is a letdown spot for Tennessee. You look at the Colts, their offense is moving the ball. Carson Wentz, I know Mitch loves him, but love him or hate him, he's having a pretty good year. Quietly, a successful season, not turning the ball over too much. A few plays you see that are pretty ugly, like last week in the rain where he threw that pass that no one knew what he was thinking on that one. But overall, solid year for Carson Wentz, and I like Jonathan Taylor, Nyheim Hines in the backfield for Indianapolis. Defensively, Derrick Henry's going to be a lot to handle. But the Colts' rush defense has been pretty good. It hasn't really gotten burned this year. It hasn't been great, but I think as long as that secondary holds up, I think the Colts win this game. And, we saw this offense. They put up 30 points in the rain last week. I honestly think this could be a shootout, but I do think the Colts have the advantage there with the home field advantage, only laying less than a field goal. I think you got some value there with Indy. I know a lot of people think that this line's a little tricky, on Halloween, but I think the Colts are favored for a reason, and we see these teams split this season series all the time. Last 2 years, they split the season series, and now the Colts are home coming off that loss against the Titans earlier in the year. I think they come back and win this one with a bit of revenge. So I'm going to take Indy, and I'm going to lay the points.
Joe?
I hate this game. It does feel like a trap game completely. We have the 2-4 Colts coming in as the favorite over the 4-2 Tennessee Titans. We've seen so much out of this Titans team, beat teams that no one thought they were going to beat. But then we saw Carson Wentz and his offense really step up in that primetime game, get a fantastic win there. I cannot get over the fact the Colts are the favorite in this one. I think the wrong team is favored. I think Derrick Henry has another big day, and I don't see Indy's defense being able to stop him. I really see him just running like a cannonball through these players. And so, if I'm going to bet it, I'm going to take the Titans. I think this is probably a 1-point game.
I don't know. The Titans have really been in some hard-hitting games recently, and those start to add up, This is a divisional game. The Colts have certainly had the edge over the Titans, especially these games in Indy. They kind of have their number. They're built to play the Titans. I mean, look at the defensive line. You got one of the best nose tackles in the game, and you have, arguably one of the best linebackers in the game right up the middle. So they're built to play the Titans in that rushing attack, and to do it with a little less guys than it takes everybody else to do it. That's the idea of having, Buckner and Nelson and these guys that they have. I've been harsh on Carson Wentz. I admit it, right?
And here's my question for you, Mitch, on Carson Wentz. Can he have the same performance that he had in that primetime game?
I think with Frank Reich coaching him, he has the ability to do that. I think that, here's a guy that needed to be coached up, and we hadn't seen that in his career. I think, with Doug Peterson, he was hung out to dry. I think he still has the injury problems. I think he has a lot to prove, but I think what we've seen is that if he has the right coach, well, at least he has a fighting chance. There are certain players that come in, and generally these are Alabama players that come into the NFL, and this is the knock on Alabama players, right, in the NFL, is that they come in and this is as good as they're going to get, right? And then you have other guys that come into the NFL, and you say, maybe, they can be coached up and become better than they ever were, like Tom Brady, right? Like guys like that, Patrick Mahomes, guys, There's a lot of guys like that. But generally, those guys don't come from Alabama, where they've already been coached up. That's why Alabama is always so good, right? So I think that, that's why, how many Ohio State quarterbacks do you see in the NFL, right? Zippo, right? You just don't see it. But it's kind of like, we saw Haskins, right? He looked pretty good. But
third string.
Yeah. After being cut, right? But, I just think that with Wentz, it's having Reich, maybe they're just the right combination. But you got to keep this guy healthy. He has shown to be a walking ambulance,
Mm-hmm.
So you need to keep him very, healthy is the only chance you have with him. But I think, I think when you have a coach that's not afraid to call you out and it's not just a jerk for being the sake of being a jerk like Peterson was, if you have a coach that's willing to call you out and say, hey, it's 3rd and 8. The 6-yard curl is not the play here, okay? It's not the play. You got to throw the ball at least 9 yards. Here's the film. Let's watch it 100 times, whatever it takes for you to understand that when you need 8 yards, you got to throw the ball at least 8.5 yards, And we've seen Carson Wentz do this. And I have to say that this Pittman from USC can make everybody look better. This guy is amazing. And if they get Hilton, in there with them, they're going to be very, very tough.
Interesting to look at who both teams have on the schedule
I was just
after
say
this.
that, yeah.
Yeah, when we look at the Colts, they have the Jets and the Jags, 2 what should be easy wins coming up on their schedule. The Titans, on the other hand, guys, this is scary. They have the Rams and the Saints. Rams is going to be a hard game. That is a Sunday night primetime game. So it might be a situation where the Titans are looking ahead in this one.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say that, I think the Colts, if they do win this game, I think that they probably feel they have a good shot at winning the division. They have 2 Jag games left. Like you said, a home game against the Jets. They also play the Texans one more time. So I think that the division is still up for grabs if the Colts can grab this win. For the Titans, a loss here doesn't really take them out of. They're 5-2 now. So a loss here wouldn't be devastating. But in terms of the division race, it makes it a lot more interesting. And I, before the season, thought the Colts were going to win this division. So if they are going to do it, they have to win today. It's a must-win for a division spot.
All right. What do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Yep. For me, I got a 3-pack. Didn't really love the NFL card as a whole, but 2 plays that I really, really liked in the NFL. And I added that with my NHL play of the day as well. So a 3-pack for me, my Super Sunday trio. Check it out at Pick Dogs, coming off a nice winning day yesterday.
All right. Thanks, Ron, for joining us. And, we'll see what happens with Dan Mullen. If they need a leader to smear him around, I'm right here. I'm waiting. I'm ready.
Sounds good. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, Ron. Good luck with the cat.
Thank you.
Of course, Ron Romanelli with us every week. And, of course, you could also read his write-ups over at Pick Dogs and, of course, get his picks. Next, let's bring in, I don't know, we got so many people here. How about Kevin Thomas?
Awesome.
Yeah. Normally.
Yeah, it's funny Ron says that about his cat because I went near my daughter's Chihuahua and she wanted to eat my face off. She was so petrified. So, and then my big dog, he took a second look at me like, what the heck are you doing this morning? Like, really? Again?
I roll out of bed sometimes just before I get on the show. It's 4 a.m. when we start. Yeah. So
early one.
All right, but let's get to it. Let's bring in Kevin Thomas. Kevin, hello. How are you this morning?
Doing great, guys. How you all doing down there? Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Oh, I love the get up.
The get up. We have the Hulk, right?
Oh no, I'm Frank.
Frankenstein.
Oh.
There's a reason I have long hair. Back in 1800, the Dr. Frankenstein had to use men and women parts. So once a month, I like to let my hair down. So today was just one of those days where the hair's let down.
There you have it.
It.
So NFL Sunday, I know you're in the Philly area. A little disappointing year for the Eagles. I don't think the expectations were really that high coming in. I think
honestly, I wondered what Tony Brown was smoking when he said the Eagles had a good offense. I don't know what he's looking at is the worst offense I've seen in many years from the Eagles, because we are forced to watch them with basic cable. That's the only game they'll put on unless we have to upgrade to get the other games. But since my Packers already played, I'll be watching the Eagles, unfortunately.
Well, I think they have some of the pieces to get them in the right direction. I think they also have some draft picks. It's not a great quarterback draft, and I don't think they're sold on Hurts, but they have the Dolphins' first pick, and I know that's a game that you have some interest in today.
I do. Last time they met, 35-0. The Bills thrashed them, but we both know Tua only lasted 2 series, went 1 for 4. But also, if we look at that game, the Bills actually ran 147 yards, which we all know the Dolphins give up runs. So we're looking at 14 points here. I think the Bills, they got a pretty easy schedule next 4 games in a row. Why chance the health of their players? Why not lean on Moss, Singletary to just run the ball, run the clock? We all know, like last week when we talked about the Dolphins and Falcons, that Tua is playing for his career, and it might not even be for this team, but he's playing for his career. And this game, he has to show up big. You got a healthy Devontae Parker. Him and Waddle have been on cue. I just think with the Bills missing their right tackle, Spencer Brown's out for this game. Knox is out for this game. I just think they lean more on the run here, not as many points as people might think. And I think the Dolphins covered us with the 14 points.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm with you in this one, Kevin. I think taking the Dolphins plus the points is a really smart way to go with this, because you're right. The Bills have an easy schedule. They can't risk injury. This isn't a team that wants to come out and get a huge blowout win. I know we've seen it in the past, what they've done to the Dolphins, but I don't see it here. And that factor that you're taking into consideration with Tua is huge. Tua is fighting for his life. And if he has the offensive weapons around him that want him to stay, they're going to be fighting for his life too. So I see the Dolphins keeping this one tight for sure.
I don't think Tua's fighting for his life here at all. I think that just a matter of where he's going to play and where he's going to land. He's better than at least half the quarterbacks in the NFL right now. And when we look at his body of work, he came in the middle of last season or towards the end of last season as a true rookie, right? Came in. So he was on an average team as a true rookie. This year, he's played basically 2 games. Or 3 games. Last week against the Falcons, that was not his fault. He did what they had to do and got them down there for the go-ahead score. He doesn't play defense. This guy can throw a rope, and it's like, on draft day, we had our draft show. I wanted Herbert. We didn't get him. We took Tua, and it's fine. It's like, but this guy is way better I'd way rather have him than Goff. I'd way rather have him than Jalen Hurts. I'd way rather have him than most of these quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins. I'd way rather have him than most of those guys, because at least he's got a lot of upside and he can spin it when he throws it deep. And it's like, I think that it's just still adapting to the NFL game. He hasn't had that time, to do that. And I think had he played in all of the games this season, I'd rather have him than Mac Jones. Had he had Zach Wilson, I'd rather have him than any of those guys. Had he had the time to work in and do all those things, I think he'd be miles ahead of where he is now. I think the game in London, I thought that was a miserable call that they got on that last play of the game. I think the time expired, and they never showed it again. It's a really bad call when they refuse to show the replay. that's when it's really bad. It's like they didn't show the clock and how much time was left and that stuff. The clock, there's no way that you can run a play like that and it takes 4 seconds. It just doesn't, it's physically impossible, But somehow, the Jags were able to do it, the official team of London, right? So, I don't know. It's like, I think the jury's out. I don't know if they go into Buffalo. I mean, the Bills have just busted them up recently, just crushed them. And that has a lot to do with the defense, not to do with Tua, even though they got blanked last time. But he didn't really play in that game. So, I don't know. I find it tough to back my Dolphins against the Bills because just the pain and suffering of last year's game. Last year's game left a mark. I would love to have Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah, I loved him on draft day. I thought he was I was surprised when Patrick Mahomes went ahead of him on draft day. I was shocked. But
I think Alabama quarterbacks get a little overrated because of the talent that they get there.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of them don't don't pan out. I mean, I can't really name any that have panned out that are that good.
Well, Joe Namath. Joe Namath was.
That was bad before Alabama was relevant.
Joe Namath is pretty good, but you're right. And I agree with you. It's like Richard Todd is generally the average. A.J. McCarron, Richard Todd. These are the types of quarterbacks you're going to get from Alabama. But I thought I liked Deshaun Watson, and the reason why I liked him on draft day and the reason why I like him now is because he's pure guts. When he hit Hunter Renfrow with that touchdown pass with 1 second left to go on the clock in the national championship game, that's the guy you want on your team. When push comes to shove, the biggest moment of the biggest game, and he can make it happen, it's like, that's NFL Sunday, right? Especially for us. Especially for us. We have a little more interest than some people. But anyways, what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Well, right now I'm a little over 55%, right, Captain Obvious? I got a 5-pack on this site only, $45 for my 5-pack. You can still get my 3-pack, $30. And tonight ends my $2.99 30-day special. I said it was going to run all October into Halloween, the greatest holiday of all time. And so it ends tonight. So $2.99 for 30 days of Kevin Thomas is a steal. Or partner me up with any of these great cappers on this show.
I always appreciate when the cappers run a special that breaks me. It's a good idea. It's like, yeah, how about let's watch Mitch go broke. All right, but we appreciate you stopping by. Hopefully we'll see you next week and take them up on that $2.99 special. I really appreciate that. I never proved that.
Watch yourselves.
I'm so glad you dressed up with me.
Raping and pillaging, so watch yourselves.
Good,
I have no preference.
Good to see you. Always a good time. Kevin Thomas, there's a guy that really knows football. I enjoy always talking. People know that I do this for a living, but I also love the game and I love talking sports, and it's always fun to talk to the guys who really know the nuts and bolts of it and know all the little ins and outs, and Kevin's definitely one of those guys. Next up, we've got Al Ninos, who's been he's I think he's still thinking that the Dodgers are in it is kind of where he's at with things. That Clayton Kershaw, his favorite guy, is, we don't know what his future is at this point, I guess. But we'll find out. Let's see. Struggle with the names. I should put these in order. It would really help me out. There we go.
Well, I can't wait to see what El Ninos has today in this card.
Al, how you doing this morning?
I'm all right. Yeah, so you're saying you're not on the Dodgers money line tonight?
No, I'm not on the Dodgers money line. That's Bitler parlayed up with the Yankees.
This was just a quick reminder of last year's Halloween. That was Smith's costume last year. Called it Florida's worst nightmare, with the Dodgers beating the Rays and the Lakers beating the Heat. So just a quick reminder, while the Dodgers are still the reigning champions for a few more days, or maybe at least a few more hours. Lakers off to a tough start this year, but they didn't defend their title either. But I'm happy Giannis got his title too. So So, yeah, back to football.
Well, we've got a lot of action going on today. What have you got for us?
This was a pretty tricky card this week, but I do think we found a pretty decent play here. I'll be looking at the Bills again, hosting the Dolphins here. They coming off that very tough loss to 34-31 in Tennessee. They're obviously the much better team in this matchup, having a much better season. They're 4-2 straight up, 4-2 ATS. Well, Miami's just 1-6 straight up and just 2-4 against the spread. Buffalo's offense has been on fire, and I just really don't see Miami slowing them down here. Josh Allen's been great. He has some great receivers to work with. I'm a big Stephon Diggs fan. Gotta love the speed there, 23 miles per hour. That's pretty much Tyreek Hill speed right there. Also got Emmanuel Sanders, Cole Beasley are two very serviceable, two consistent receivers there. Maybe not the flashiest receivers, but they go out there, they run their routes like they're supposed to, and they tend to get the job done. All that being said, this is still a pretty big spread, so Buffalo. So I'll be looking at the total here with Buffalo 3-3 as far as the total is concerned. Miami, as far as ugly as their numbers are, they are 4-3 the over. That doesn't necessarily mean they have a great offense, but their defense hasn't really shown up since holding the Patriots to just 16 points, which they needed every last stop there to earn their only win of the season. And that was all the way back in week 1. And again, I just don't see them holding Buffalo anywhere near that number. And on the other side, I do expect Tua to get enough offense going to help us get over this total. I don't think we'll need too much help. I expect a lot of big plays out of Buffalo here, so I think they get most of the work done, and Tua gets enough to help us go over.
Joe, Dolphins had 0 points last time these two teams played. Of course, Tua got knocked out of that game early. What are you thinking?
So I'm just running some numbers here, what I'm thinking score-wise, because I do think the Dolphins can cover in this one. And I'm looking at probably the over 2 when we start to talk that. 48.5 seems a little low when I started working out how many touchdowns I think the Bills are going to get. I think the Dolphins get a couple in there. I'd be leaning at this one hitting around the 52 mark. So give me the over because that's only 48.5. I think if the Dolphins can cover in this one, then it does go over. If the Dolphins don't put up any points, it goes over. So a safer way to look at this might be the Buffalo Bills team total. I just don't have that in front of me, you guys.
I guess it's pretty hefty. We'll take a look and find out what that is. But we're seeing this. I'm seeing 14.5s and 15s coming up in this game as well. So.
I'm seeing 31.5 for the Bills.
Yep, I'm seeing
31.5.
Now 14.5 at FanDuel on this game too. So this game.
And I think they hit 34. I think they hit 34 points in this one.
Could easily see that.
One of the movers here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna straight Ruffalo on this one. I'm just I don't know about the total. I like I said, I'm a Dolphin fan. I'm a season ticket holder, but the Bills have won now 6 in a row against the Dolphins, and it's the longest streak the Bills have ever had against the Dolphins. The Dolphins have the longer streak against the Bills historically. They beat them 20 in a row at one point. It's 10 years. But the Bills are kind of look to be headed in that direction. I can't get past last year. I just can't get past that game because it was an all-in Dolphins need game. You know, it was like they win, they're in the playoffs. They lose, they're out. And they got shellacked, you know. And the Dolphins catch a break here because the game's in Buffalo and it's only October. Normally the game in Buffalo is like December 17th or something. And it's like, you know, it's ridiculous. But I still don't think it helps them. I think the Dolphins are just in trouble in this one. They don't match up well against the Bills. They just don't. So I'm with Joe. I like the team total, whatever it is. I think the Bills
31.5.
Yeah.
For minus 104. It's great value.
Bills 479, Dolphins -3. And it's like we don't even get the draft choice. Al, what do you got for sale today?
Got a little 7-pack going. I got just 4 plays in the NFL. Got I play in the World Series, NBA, NHL as well. So check that out.
All right. Thank you for joining us.
There's an extra NBA play as well there for the people on the long-term pass. So it's a great time for those too with all these sports going on.
It is a good time for the long-term pass. Maybe we should all stick out some end-of-year specials, like, from today, get all of November and December, like 2 months for the price of one, because it's like kind of a taste of all the sports.
All for it.
Feel free to do it. I think I'm gonna put one out myself. But anyways, that's Al Ninos. Thanks for joining us, Al. Joe, we got a ton of cappers left to go and a lot of football to be played today. Anything here with these lines moving, anything jumping off the page at you? I know we've gone over these games up and down. We've done our office pool. Those of you that haven't entered the office pool, by all means, go ahead and enter. Here's our picks that we did for the office pool this week, Joe and my picks. And you just find that there's a tweet on the Pick Dogs Twitter. You can find it on there, and it has all the rules, and it's free to enter. It's cash prizes. So
absolutely. One line that I'm looking at that has really dropped, and I'm just seeing it now, San Francisco and the Bears. We have a total of 39.5 on some books. That number is dropping quick. It was still 40 this morning when I looked. So that's come down 0.5 point on some books. If you like the over in that one, definitely get it now, because lots of money coming on that under.
Yeah, we got some weather in Chicago, Cleveland, so as it was expected, and that's why those totals were low to begin with.
But here's the thing, Mitch. Look at these primetime games that we've seen. We've seen so much rain in those last week, and those totals still went over.
Yeah, well, you got Justin Fields, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Trey Lance, in this one. True. So, this could be. Trey Lance. Justin Fields has the lowest QB rating in the history of football. He's the worst quarterback in the history of football to play NFL football, and there's been some bad ones out there. The Bears 32nd in passing, 124 yards per game passing. The Bears, a professional football team in a passing league.
Oh, okay. So if you could take one college team and replace the Bears with them, who would you take?
Well, I wouldn't replace the Bears. I think it's just Justin Fields.
Okay.
He was 22 of 32 last week for 184 yards because, they were so far behind the whole time. 22 of 32 for 184 yards. So 22 completions, less than 10 yards, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. This guy's a bum. He's a stiff.
He definitely needs time to develop. I think we are going to see a good quarterback out of him, but I think he's going to be one of those quarterbacks that needs the weapons around him. He needs better coaching, better weapons. We saw him at Ohio State. He did absolutely incredible. But he had all of those tick marks.
They played nobody.
He's not going to be. Yeah.
They play nobody.
True.
I
know they don't. But
this is the rub. It's like they play at this school. They beat Akron. Congratulations.
Yeah.
It's like you have the high school All-American team for the last 4 years on your bench. It's like it's not like the NFL. And Lou Holtz, I think, put it best. What's the difference? Why couldn't you win as coach of the Jets? And he's like, I'm not allowed to recruit here. And I think. So
absolutely. Well, we never see good quarterbacks come out of Ohio State. We do see good defensive players. We've got Joey Bosa. There's so many great defensive players that have come out of there. So many. Like a million that I can't even think of any more than one, but I'm going to say so many.
I've seen secondaries on NFL teams where it's all Ohio State players. Yeah. And I've seen the linebackers as well, from Ohio State, all across the league. And, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, running backs. But
we never see a top quarterback come out of Ohio State.
It's rare. Wide receivers, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
But he is better than Jared Goff in the future.
I don't think
he will be a better quarterback in the future, I think. No? Okay. We'll talk in 5 years from now and see.
I don't think he'll be in the league in 5 years.
Well, okay, I'm writing this in my daytime, and 5 years from now on Halloween, we are discussing Justin Fields versus Jared Goff.
Yeah, he stinks.
You guys let me know. Let me know what you think.
I think we're going to look back at this quarterback draft, and a lot of people are thinking this was like the 84 quarterback draft, but this is really one of the going to end up being one of the worst quarterback drafts in history. And I think you could look back at it, it's going to be like, oh man, Trey Lance and Justin Fields going in the first round.
You think Trevor Lawrence improves?
I think he can, but I think he has the potential, but he plays on a bad team. It's just how much of a beating is he going to take until that team can compete on a professional level. Yeah. I think that's
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson, I think that once again, same thing. It's like we're never going to get to see it because he's going to take a beating.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let's bring in James Clark next and see what James has to say for himself today. Let's see. We'll bring him in and then we'll fix his name. James, how you doing today?
Pretty good. How are you and Joe today?
I'm good.
I'm great.
Got a lot of cappers here and a lot of games. What are you looking at today in the NFL action?
First, I'm looking at this, Cincinnati and the Jets game here. If you look at Cincinnati, they put up 41 points, against Baltimore last week, and I look for them to do the same today. And if the Jets can score a touchdown, I really like this over. They last time I looked earlier, said it 46. And dropped down to 43. I really do like this over. I look for Cincinnati to almost score 40 themselves, and then like I said, if the Jets can get one on the board or if they get 10, I really like this over. The way Cincinnati's offense has been rolling, I think we get the over in this game.
Joe, what do you think?
This is one I don't like at all. I can't get behind this New York Jets team. Zach Wilson is out, correct, with his knee? I forgot to look up what his status is.
Mike White.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati should steamroll them in this one. I just hate that many points. It's gone up to 11 on some of these books, 11.5 on others. So I really do think it's Cincy's day. They come out and they get this win on the road. They're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. But is this one I'm going to bet? No way. No way. There's always these letdown spots. This could be one of those letdown spots where the Jets come and they get it.
Mike White's one of those transfer portal guys transferred to Western Kentucky from South Florida. He wasn't very good at either of those. And this guy, he couldn't make the Dallas Cowboys, So it's like that to me shows that, well, this is how deep the Jets quarterback problems are. If something happens to this guy, it's going to be the Joe Flacco show.
God.
The issue here is, of course, this is a tough spot for the Bengals too, because they were on the road last week in Baltimore, coming off of that big win. How do you follow that up? It's like, how can you possibly get as up for the Jets as you can for that thing? And that's always a dangerous spot. And of course, a guy like White, it's just a matter, will he make the mistakes that allow the Bengals to really pull away here? It's a big number to cover on the road, but it is the New York Jets.
Exactly. That's why I can't bet it. I'm not putting any money on the Jets this weekend. No way.
That's why I like the over instead of going with the spread. Because, like I said, last week they put up 42. Since he's got an offense, and look who they're playing. The Jets don't play no defense. The problem is we're looking at if the Jets can get us 10 points. That's the main thing. If Jets gets 10 points, we get this over. If they don't, then we don't. But I still really like this over just on Cincinnati with Cincinnati's offense.
They're going to give the offensive player of the year, the offensive rookie of the year to Trevor Lawrence, but Jamar Chase is the best rookie this year.
Yeah, by far. By far, yeah.
And it's not even close. And he looks so bad in preseason. It's been, this guy just doesn't like to play preseason. That is like all the makings of an NFL superstar, right? It's like at a skill position. It's like, I don't want to play in the preseason. So, it's like,
I agree with you. And this could be another one where the Bengals could be looking ahead. Browns and Raiders on schedule for Cincy.
I'll tell you another bet I've been betting the last few weeks, but the books has finally caught on. Is Chase to catch one over 40 yards. I mean, it seems like every time he catches one, he's gone. 60, 50-yard touchdown. It was plus money last few weeks. Right now, it's a minus 120 for him to catch over a 40-yard pass. I look for him to do it again, especially against the Jets.
Seems like the quarterback-wide receiver combo from college is a popular thing, especially in the AFC East. You have that one, and then you have Mac Jones, and you have Tua and Waddle. In Miami also. Not quite as effective, though, as Burrow and Chase have been. What else you have for us today? You have another pick?
Yeah, I got the Sunday night game tonight. You got Dallas and Minnesota. You got this Dallas team, come from an Eagles fan. We don't like Dallas that much. Everybody knows that. But, I really like Dallas tonight getting 3 points. Their offense has been clicking. Minnesota, their offense was up and down. They play good at home, but I think this is a gift tonight, getting 3.5 points with the way the Dak's been playing. Elliott looks like he's come out, a new running back this year. He the last few years he's tapered off. This year, man, he's come out to run the ball. And they got weapons on the outside. I really like the Dallas and getting 3 points tonight. Actually, I think it's 3.5.
I see it dropping to 2.5, but which to me leads me to believe that Dak's probably playing. Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, this should be quite an interesting game in this one. I know it's one we've talked about all week, Mitch. I'm still leaning on Minnesota, even with Dak's playing. I really do think they are able to get this home win. I'm also liking the over in this one because I think both these teams, I'm loving what I'm seeing out of their offenses, and they just push this one to the limit. So that over has dropped, I believe. It's 51.5 now. Didn't it open a little higher than that? Oh, no. Open at 51.5. It is climbing up to some 52s. So if you like that 51.5 over, grab it now.
Yeah, Dallas's only quality win was they had one quality win, and that was against the Chargers. It's the only team they've beaten that has a winning record. They're way overblown. People are way ahead of themselves on the Dallas freaking Cowboys. They beat the Eagles, the Panthers, and on a cheap-ass call. They beat the Giants. Congratulations, and took overtime against the New England Patriots, who, let's be honest about the New England Patriots. They have 3 wins themselves, right? The Jets twice. Do those even count? And then the Texans, right? So these are the teams that the Dallas Cowboys have beat. You look at Minnesota, right? They beat Carolina as well. They beat the Detroit Lions. They beat Seattle, and they those are their 3 wins. But the losses, right? The loss at Cincinnati, overtime, right? The Bengals are looking like the winners of the AFC North. A 1-point loss in Arizona on a missed field goal, right? So 2 games that they very much could have been, 5-1 at this point also. And those 2 losses, no shame in either of those. I think the Vikings are the better team here. And I also think that at home, that home field advantage last year, of all the teams that when there was no fans in the stand, cardboard cutouts and pumped in crowd noise, the Vikings were one of the teams that really suffered because of that. Just 3-5 at home, and the fans are really happy to be there. Believe me, it's Sunday night. They're going to blow that horn. They're going to be doing skull, and that place is going to be rocking. If it's not Dak Prescott, they're dead, dead, dead. And if it is Dak Prescott, they're just dead. I love the Vikings in this one. And I don't think I think this, we saw Diggs, how has been grabbing these interceptions. I don't think that's going to happen with this guy, Jefferson. I think he's going to have a big night. Big. I like the Vikings.
I tell you what.
Sort of, just a little bit.
Slightly.
But I tell you one thing, like she mentioned the over. Joe mentioned the over. I like the over on this game too. Like I just see both of these offenses going up and down and scoring. And the 51, I see him getting over 51 too, or 51, 52, whatever it is right now.
that Bengals overtime game, it's like, boy, that one and that chip shot they missed against the Cardinals. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, and I'm seeing in the comments, stop hating on the Cowboys. I don't hate on the Cowboys. I actually am so impressed by what I've seen out of Dak coming back. I really think he's done absolutely fantastic off that injury. I just don't think they have a chance with Minnesota. I think this is a high shootout battle, and you're giving me Minnesota -2.5 under a field goal at home on a primetime game where Kirk Cousins has stepped up. We can see him win. He's not the Kirk Cousins that always failed in primetime. I got to take Minnesota. This isn't a hate on Dallas.
I'll hate on Dallas a little bit.
You can hate on Dallas.
I'll hate on Dallas some more. And those 3 wins, Philly, Carolina, and the Giants, they were all at home. They had 3 home games in a row. It's unheard of in the NFL. James,
I'm an Eagles fan, and I have to give a little bit of props to Dallas just because the way Dak has come out this year and the way the Elliott's is running the football. I know they ain't played some of the best teams, but even when last year when they wasn't, playing the Eagles, some of those things, he couldn't rush for 80 yards, and now he's getting 100 yards, a couple touchdowns. So both of them's come out to try to better their season this year for Cowboys because, if not, Jerry Jones invested money in both of them. So if they don't do it, bust this team up if Dallas don't start making it to the playoffs or at least winning this week division.
They're gonna get whipped. What do you what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Guys, I got a 7-pack NBA and NFL money stack. Coming off a 6-3 on one day yesterday. I'm number 2 in college football right now, number 2 in NBA, and in the top 10 in the NFL. So go get that 7-pack, and after we go 7-0. Upgrade 3, 7, or 30 days. Or, like I say every time I'm on the show, we got the best cappers in the world, and we do. So team me up with any of them, and we'll put some money in your pockets, fellas.
All right, James, thanks for joining us. And, of course, we'll see you next week. I believe you'll be on Saturday and Sunday next week? Or
yeah.
Saturday? All right.
So, no, I'll be on Saturday and Sunday.
All right. We'll see you next Saturday. And, of course, I'll drive
luck, James.
all week long.
All right. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me.
That was James Clark. Up next, we have Al McMorty. Man, we got a packed show on these NFL Sundays, which is awesome because we have a lot more time than we do on the Saturday shows, right? So it's definitely good. It's like also some good insight, like always from our cappers. Joe, that Vikings-Cowboys game, I know it's like I know I'm super one-sided. Am I not seeing something here? I mean, are the Cowboys better than I think they are? I mean,
Cowboys are America's team, and we've got to take that into account too, right? I think they're going to get some calls go their way as well, but I do think this is the Vikings game. I want to quickly say, Tyjan just put in the comments, Cousins TD prop over 2.5 at plus 170. I absolutely love that. I hadn't seen that yet. So if that's the case, I would be betting that right away.
We bring in Al McMorty. I think he kind of yesterday, he had to go against his own team, which not an easy thing to do. And unfortunately, he was right. I guess fortunately or unfortunately, depending on which side you had. I was with them on against his team, but yeah, it was kind of same old story right there for the Wolverines.
I'd already forgotten about the game. Now you have to remind me.
Oh, don't worry. I'm sure the Michigan State fans will remind you about this one for quite some time. Biggest comeback, right, in 17 years in the series?
I get to watch so few games these days just because of how busy my schedule is, and that was one of the rare games I got to watch. So I was actually just happy it was such a great game. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better college football game, one of the best games I've ever seen. So, I took a lot of pride in that. It was just a really good game, and Michigan doesn't play very many good games. It was enjoyable.
Michigan came into that one. Didn't they have the number 1 run defense in the country, or no, Georgia did, but they were definitely up there, like in the top 5 against the run. And then Michigan State just really, kind of like what we said yesterday, kind of just punched them in the face a couple times. And eventually,
that Kenneth Walker is a hell of a player.
He did the same thing to us. He did the exact same thing to us. So, in Miami too. So, this guy's a star. He's their best back since Bell, easily.
Yeah. So let's talk about some NFL guys. What do you say?
Absolutely.
I'd love to.
Okay, I'm going to take a look at the San Francisco-Chicago game. 49ers currently favored on the road at Chicago. I had San Francisco last week. I lost with them against Indianapolis. Not a very good game. They got off to that 9-0 start, and then they disappeared, in the rain at San Francisco. So they were upset by the Indianapolis Colts 30-18 as a 3.5-point favorite. And that was their fourth straight loss. So I think a lot of bettors are going to shy away from San Francisco as a road favorite to the extent that they're off 4 straight losses. But that would be, in my opinion, the wrong move. You take a look at how losing teams do when they're favored on the road by more than 3 points and they're off back-to-back losses. They do quite well. They've covered 63% over the last 42 years. So that fits San Francisco here. From a team trend standpoint, the Niners are 63-28 against the spread, off an upset loss if they were favored by 3 or more in that upset loss. And that includes 20-8 against the spread in the road favorite role. I heard you guys talk earlier about Justin Fields in Chicago, so I don't need to go into that. But suffice it to say, I think San Francisco blows the doors off Chicago.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm with you, Al. If I'm betting this, I'm definitely taking the 49ers minus the points here. I think Justin Fields in quarterback for the Bears is going to have a hard time. I think the 49ers defense is going to rush him all day long, and they're going to get a lot of sacks. I'd be looking at some prop bets on defense for the 49ers as well. So 49ers all day long.
Quarterbacks in this game make Jared Goff look like a Heisman winner, make him look like a Super Bowl MVP. I mean, both sides, hideous quarterback play, unacceptable at the NFL level. And I think, I said it about San Francisco every single game this season, and I'll say it again. It's like if you have no true quarterback, clear-cut quarterback, you have no quarterback at all. It just means someone hasn't emerged to prove that they're better than two very below average quarterbacks. I mean, terrible. Justin Fields is worse. Khalil Mack is out for the Bears, and I think that's a little bit of a problem for him. A little more than a little bit. It's a big problem for him. So, I just think that I think that's the bigger factor here. But I do think the 49ers are fully capable of beating themselves. We have seen them do that. So this is a tough one for me. I might have to just take a straight Ruffalo on this one.
Yeah, when we look at this one, Justin Fields has been sacked 22 times already and thrown 6 interceptions so far this season.
Half of them were last week.
Yeah, exactly. I think he comes in with no confidence this week.
They should do the yards versus interceptions prop for Justin Fields. Like throw for more yards and throw more interceptions. I think I'd go
like it
in that one. He stinks. I mean, I personally think Trey Lance is just as bad, if not worse.
Have they announced if it's Trey Lance or Jimmy Garoppolo?
I think it's Garoppolo.
Okay.
Which, I mean, he's no better. Because still, whenever you have this is the other side. This is the other side, and I'll just play devil's advocate here. And like I said, I have no play in this game. There's no way I can make one. But when you have a quarterback that's bad, like Garoppolo, like really bad, there's always a guy, and you have a ball hawk on the other team, like an Eddie Jackson type. This is like the Eddie Jackson game potential at Soldier. This is potentially that Eddie Jackson day. And anytime you have a quarterback like that, Lance is listed as probable for this one as well. So He's available. Good news for Bears fans. I can't believe they drafted that guy in that spot. I can't get over it. I think it's just the arrogance of John Lynch. It's like, we're so much smarter than everyone. Take Trey Lance. It's like, gotta be kidding me. We'll get. I think he was the same guy that got rid of DeForest Buckner. Well, that was smart. It's like if you get rid of DeForest Buckner, exactly what are you waiting for? It's kind of like when the Red Sox got rid of Mookie Betts, right? It's like, what exactly are you waiting for? You're going to pay somebody this kind of money, right? What exactly are you waiting for? It's like, if you're going to pay the one guy that kind of money, this is the guy, right? It's like, I never understood it. What else do we have?
Well, go up to the Boston area now that you mentioned the Red Sox, and well, they're not playing in Boston, but I'm going to look at the New England Patriots off that 54-13 destruction last week versus the Jets. They're now a 4-point underdog against the Chargers. The line opened at 6. It's come all the way down to 4. I like the Chargers here. You take a look at how teams do that have that huge win like New England did last week. When teams win by 35 or more points, and then they're installed as an underdog the next week, they're 22-32 against the spread, including 0-6 with a push against rested foes. And of course, the Chargers are rested after their blowout loss at the hands of the Ravens 2 weeks ago. So I think that bodes well for the Chargers here. The other thing that is interesting to me, at least in this game, is what they did last December. These two teams met last December here in Los Angeles. And I don't know if you guys recall the game, but New England blew the crap out of the Chargers. They won that ball game 45-0. And in the NFL, revenge doesn't really mean as much as it does to me in college sports, with two exceptions. One would be a loss like that, and another might be playoff revenge in certain situations. And, because these NFL teams, they lose all the time. So I don't think one game means all that much to them. But when you take a look at how revenge-minded teams do, if they're a favorite and they're off a straight-up loss the previous week, so now they're doubly motivated. They come in off a loss. They're now favored against a team that blew them out. And that team scored 44 or more points in that defeat the previous season. Those teams are 16-4 against the spread. It doesn't happen all that often, obviously, but it's 16-4 against the spread, including 9-0 ATS the last 9. I like the Chargers here in this revenge thing. I think it looks kind of easy to take the Patriots plus the 4, given the immediate results of the last 2 weeks. So I'm going to lay the points with the Chargers.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm with you, Al, on this one all day long. Looking at the Chargers coming in rested, being at home on that revenge factor, which the Chargers will not forget. That was just such an appalling loss that they had last year. I really do think they come out super strong. They are off that loss to the Ravens as well. So give me the Chargers to win in a dominating fashion in this one.
3 weeks ago, everyone was saying the Chargers were the best team in the AFC, that Justin Herbert was going to the Hall of Fame. They lose to the Browns, and all of a sudden, I don't know if they can take on the Patriots, who really needed a real crap-ass call to beat the Houston Texans, of all teams, on the road. And then they beat the Jets twice. Congratulations. I don't even count those as wins when I do my handicapping. The thing is, they've been in a lot of close games, too. So it's like, if you're taking the Patriots here, you're banking that it's going to be one of these games that just falls inside the number, because they're not going to win. It's not going to happen. The Chargers are lousy against the run, but the Patriots, they don't run the ball especially well. They ran the ball last week, but they're playing the Jets, so it doesn't count. Those yards don't count, and those wins don't count. The Broncos, we talked about the Broncos earlier this season. Oh, they've won 3 in a row. Yeah, but it was the Jets, the Giants, and the Jaguars, but they still won. No, they haven't beaten anybody else besides those teams, and that's the same thing with the Patriots. You're up against a Chargers team off of bye week, right? And this team's stacked, man. They are stacked. They have that. It's not just that Herbert, can make these other plays. When the game is on the line, right? And it's like, as a bettor, when you're looking to ice the game, right? And you need that 8-yard completion, 3rd and 8 with 2.5 minutes left to go in the game. This guy completes it every single time. And it's always the same guy. It's Keenan Allen, right? It's every single time. So, I know we saw it against Washington on opening day, and I think we're just going to continue to see it all season long and for many years to come, unfortunately, if you're not a Charger fan. But Joe is in business, but the rest of us, we're kind of screwed here. We're stuck with Tua instead. This guy. Al, what do you got for sale?
Yesterday, a decent day. We were 10-6 on our 16 selections, so we're now 93-53. Our last 146. That goes back to late September.
You can't win money if you take 16 games.
I tell you, the only thing you can't do is you can't win $1,700, but you can win $1,600.
I know. It's like I can't stand it when people say you can't win money if you take it. It's like, what are you talking about?
You can win a lot, you can lose a lot, you can do everything in between.
Yeah, but it's just a day at the office, It's like, that's all it is.
I don't have 16 games today, unfortunately. I have 9. I've got 7 in the NFL. I'm 28-16 in my last 44 in the NFL. I've got 1 in baseball. We lost on the Astros yesterday. And I've got 1 play in the NBA. We had a 3-2 day yesterday in the NBA, off to a nice start. In basketball, I think the record's something like maybe 18-9. I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's been a very good basketball season the last couple of years. So folks overlook the NBA this time of year, and I think that's a mistake. I think it's somewhat easy to win the early part of the NBA season. So that's what we've got. And as you guys have mentioned, the best value of all is for a 7-day or a 30-day package. There's a lot of value, especially with my selections, as I do give out a lot of plays.
All right. Well, we'll see you.
Let me mention one other thing. I've got 2 totals plays today for the season. I'm 8-0 on my NFL totals, and I've got my NFL total of the month, and I've also got I think it's my AFC conference total of the month. So I've got 2 big totals plays on this Sunday. Hopefully, we'll go to 10-0 on our totals this year.
How do you approach the beginning of college basketball season? Tread lightly, or you think
I do. No, I mean much more
the land of opportunity.
The NBA. For me, you have to define what you mean by the early part. Are you saying the first 2 games, the first 5 games, the first 10 games?
I'm saying the next, like the first week, like when they come out and it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, there's 125 college basketball games.
Yeah.
Like, I got to do something.
Yeah, I mean, I approach it pretty sparingly. I've got some situations I look for, and if they happen, I will make plays. It all depends. In the first, say, a team's 5 to 7 games, I'm looking for extreme events. Maybe a team fails to cover the spread 5 games out of the gate, and maybe they become undervalued. Things like that. There are certain, and when you've got 350 teams on the board, you get ample opportunity even when you're trying to play sparingly. So I'll have some plays, but I think it tends to really get going for me maybe around the Thanksgiving holidays when I begin having higher volume in college basketball.
I'm with you. Well, thanks for joining us once again. We'll see you next week. And, of course, during the week on the drive-thru, you can get all Big Al's premium plays over at Pick Dogs. Like you said, I don't have to say it. Well, I'll say it for him again. It's been on fire. Another winning year. So, what is it, 9 out of 10 NFL?
Well, it's 9 straight, which also means it's 9 out of 10. So this will be 10, if I win this year, it will be my 10th straight winning year of the NFL.
Right. So then I think no one says 10 out of 11. 9 out of 10. No one says 10 in a row. Like,
and the interesting thing, I'm better at some sports than others. Baseball would be my worst sport. Some guys say they are really good at baseball. They can't handicap the NFL. So it's kind of interesting. Not every handicapper is, 100% across the board on every single league. But NFL is my favorite.
All right. A lot of people, it's a good one to have as your favorite. A lot of people like the NFL here in the United States. But thanks for joining us, Al. We'll see you during the week. And, of course, we'll see you next week.
Always an honor, Al. Best of luck today.
Thanks, Joe. Good luck to you guys.
Once again, Big Al, McMorty, one of the top handicappers of all timers, Hall of Famer, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
If there is such a thing. People say, they're world champions or Hall of Famers. Al's actually won some championships. So.
Oh, absolutely. He needs a plaque. He is that good.
Yep. Definitely. I like hearing him talk, about the handicap. It's fun to, to hear where he's going with things as well, because generally I play my own plays, but if I was going to play anybody else's, that's where they would be. But we bring in Jovan. How are you doing today, Jovan?
Just another day at the office. Had another good day yesterday. Friday, Saturday, good day. So just trying to keep it going.
I've been trashing your Patriots all morning here. I know you've been in the green room hearing me doing that, so I figured that you might not be in the best mood when you get here. But, what's the talk in New England about the 3 wins coming against, the Jets and then the Houston Texans in a controversial call?
Well, I mean, you have probably two schools of thought. You have the thought where, look who they won against and, they're just they're a bad team. But then you have which is, and this is the majority thought. You have, well, they're 3-4. They go 4-4 with a team that they beat last year and shut them out. And look at the the next whatever few games of the schedule. If they could do this, that, and the third, they could be above 500, whatever. Take the positive approach. So you have two schools of thought, but right now I think people are trying to look on the positive side.
Does Boston College get a pass in Boston, or they kind of fly under the radar because you got other sports going on now? You got the Celtics and you got the Patriots, because this team is a meltdown waiting to happen in the third and fourth quarter of every game in the last few weeks. I mean, they have been absolutely atrocious in the second half of these games.
Well, I mean, Boston College at best they're afterthought, and when they're the way they are now. Backup quarterback, because they came into the season, they started off 4-0, had a pretty nice win against Missouri, but Missouri's nobody. But, when you lose your quarterback, who was actually a pretty good one, from Notre Dame, they get no consideration right now. They're not even spoken of.
Because generally, they have a good offensive line, some good running backs, and, they're generally like a pinstripe bowl type team. They've had some really good seasons in the past where maybe they'll go to a little bit bigger than that, but they're a pinstripe Arizona Bowl type team. I just think 2 weeks in a row they bruised me. Yesterday I finally just went against them. I just couldn't do it anymore. And they once again they hung in there. They had the lead early. They did all the exact same things, and then at the end of the game, it just didn't. The final score didn't look like anything like the body of work of the game. It's just they let
the under yesterday was actually on my list. I backed off it because you just never know with them. They could get blown. Like these past 3 weeks, they just been getting the doors blown off them. But they was competitive last week, which was more in line to my thinking of what was going to happen. So I'm just staying away from them.
To me, it just seems that in the second half of games this year, and obviously we're going to get to the NFL, but to me, it seems in the second half of the games, these Boston College, it seems that every little thing that happens is a touchdown against them. The punt return, touchdown. Interception, touchdown. It's like, it just seems every single game, they have not just one, but two of these. They just go for touchdowns the other way, and it turns a close game into a lopsided score, and then the game plan goes out the window because they're not built for a wide open passing attack for a comeback. So it's and then they're just dead in the water, and then it gets ugly from there.
The difference between this Boston College team and the past couple years, I'll say, is their defense. They've regressed defensively. Historically with Boston College, you could rely on their defense to put in some good work. Keep you in games. You've had a couple players, down the line, Luke Kuechly, guys like that have come out of Boston College and done good.
Herzlick, was his name? The guy played Herzlick, was that his name? The guy in the Giants.
Oh, Herzlick too, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, what do we got in the NFL today?
We got a couple games I'm looking to key in on. First, we're gonna go to Seattle, Jacksonville versus Seattle. I'm looking at the over in this game. So both of these teams, have some of the worst defenses in the NFL. And, I think that even though, you have two offenses that really, nothing to speak about, mediocre offenses, they can move the ball against these defenses. They're just that bad. Jacksonville has quietly, put together a nice little run game. They're 10th in the NFL in that category. And, I think with Seattle, they can't get pressure on the quarterback. So I think if Trevor Lawrence gets some time to throw, he's going to take his shots down the field and he's going to connect. So on the other end, Geno Smith is Geno Smith. He's a bum. But, he does have DJ Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and others. He could take his shots down the field and connect also. With Jacksonville, they don't get takeaways. That's a problem. And Geno Smith, even though he'll give you a chance to take away the ball, I don't think that Jacksonville, will be able to capitalize on that. These two teams combined are 3-10 to the over. But I think a regression back to the mean is in order for today, and I think this game goes over.
Joe, what do you think?
This is a gross game. It really is. I look at this one. I can see it going over. Stats that I found are trending towards that under 4-1 in the Jags' last 5 games overall, 5-0 in the Seahawks' last 4 games. But I agree with you. This could be one of those situations where both these teams are not good. It could hit that over. It's climbed up from 43.5, 44.5. It's still small points for what we could see out of these quarterbacks. I think if you think Jacksonville has any chance, then this is an over game in this one. And I do think Jacksonville has a chance in this. They're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 games as a road underdog. I'm not sold on Seattle at all, especially with Geno in. I can't put any faith behind them. So I think this is one of these games where Jacksonville could come away with a W, and it does go over. So I like everything you're saying in this one, Jovan.
I'm an Urban Meyer hater from way back, and I'm going to hate him some more here. I'm going with Clappy and the Seahawks. I'm a Clappy guy. Everyone knows it. It's like that's how Pete Carroll is. He's the players' coach. The players love him. Urban Meyer is the hard-ass, tough guy. Like I said, I want to see his emails. I think they need to open up all his emails for the last 10 years from Ohio State, from Florida. I'd love to see this. If you're going to call one guy out, then it's got to go for everybody. I'm from this. I'm not perfect, right? I'm not even close to perfect. But I will say I'm accountable. And it's like I can man up to anything I've ever done, right or wrong. But I think that, if you're going to call one guy out for their emails, I think you got to call everybody out. And you got to go all the way back, as far back as you go with this guy, 10 years. And I would like to see them. And Urban Meyer is on my list of people's emails. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm way wrong. Maybe I am way off base, right? My guess is, I just want to see it. If there's nothing there, there's nothing there. That's all I got to say. I think there's a few other coaches I'd like to see as well. But this guy, the guy who recruited Aaron Hernandez to the University of Florida, right? We know he set the record for arrested players as a college head coach at Florida. One season. 78 players in one season were arrested on one college football team. And this guy was the head coach. I think it's time to it's time to take a look. I don't understand it. How do you hire this guy? Is winning that important? Because he ain't doing any of that, Jacksonville. Anyways, what else you got, Jovan?
Yeah, so we're going to go to Denver with this one. The Washington football team and the Broncos. With this game, Denver should have some success against a Washington team that just can't seem to get out of their own way. With Denver, they're 5th in total yards allowed and 4th in points allowed. So you're dealing with a Washington football team who, just doesn't do anything good on the offensive end. On the other end, you have a Denver team who has just been pedestrian, across the board, and in their last 4 games had been downright awful on the offensive end, just to put it simply. A couple trends I'd like to, toss out there. For Denver, the under is 7-3 in their last 10 games as a home favorite, and 5-2 in their last 7 overall. And for Washington, the under is 12-13 in their last 15 games in October, and 9-3 in their last 12 games after a straight up loss. So I think this one, short and simple, just adds up to an underplay for me.
Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, I could definitely see this one going under. I'm also leaning on Washington plus the points. I think we've got two teams that aren't great, two teams that are very similar, and I think this is a tighter game than this line's reflecting. I don't see Denver blowing them out of the water and winning this by more than a field goal, so give me Washington plus the points. The Broncos are also 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 in October, 1-4 against the spread in their last 5 games overall. So I like Washington here plus the points. Washington's burnt me over and over again this year, so fingers crossed on this one.
Taking Denver on Joe taking Washington. Nothing else on that.
It's probably the best way to go, Mitch.
It's a pure Joe Madden fate of Washington. But I think that, what we have here is a Denver team that started the season 3-0. The Jets, Giants, Jaguars, right? Those were the three. I say it over and over again. But Washington fits the mold. They fit the mold. It's like you got a 2-win team. This would be their big test. It's not like it's not like the game in Pittsburgh that they got crushed or anything. They kind of they were in it to the end, and they didn't play their best football. And traditionally, Denver's a pretty tough place to play. Traditionally they have a pretty good home field advantage there. I just don't know if Heineke's the guy to do it. The 4 is a little rough, but it's I don't know about the alternative. So should be decent. We have not seen the Washington defense play the way they played last year. So maybe this is the day, because Denver's offense has been pretty terrible the last few weeks as well.
Oh yeah.
And don't say Geno Smith is a bum too loud in front of James Clark. I believe he's a West Virginia guy. Geno.
Yeah, be careful in that green room back there.
It's like we'll have to put him in separate parts of the green room virtually.
Hey, the NFL career speaks for itself.
I'm with you.
As a Jet, and listen, I didn't even know he was in the league until the beginning of the preseason. So.
Well, just Tavarius Jackson must be 50 now, so they can't have him anymore as the backup. It's like, God, how the heck do you have Tavarius Jackson is your backup? It's like, man, it's like, what was that? But it's kind of the Tony T school of thought. If you have your back that's going to come in, you're going to lose anyway. Why put any money into it? Anyways, what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Yeah, so I got my Show Me the Money NFL Sunday 5-pack. 5 plays that I like. NFL is tricky. Last couple of weeks have been tricky, but like I said, I had a good Friday when I went 5-1, and yesterday went 9-5. Looking to build on that today. I'm also gonna look at a couple NBA plays that I got in my radar, and I have my World Series play also out. So right now I have 6 plays. I could have a couple more. And that's that for today. Looking forward another positive day.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Of course, we'll see you next Saturday and all week on the drive-through. So have a great day. Let's make it a winner.
You as well. Win.
That was Jovan
Best
Burtz.
luck, Jovan.
Of course, one of our winners in our Become a Capper contest, which we'll be talking about all through the month of November, as it will start on December 1st.
It's exciting for sure.
Yep. We run a contest. Basically, the way that it works, it's kind of like a picking contest every day. The Cappers put in 3 picks. We're going to have some stiffer parameters than we've had in the past on how those picks are going to work and how it's going to be graded and rated, but it will basically be on an ROI basis, and it will be money lines will be limited. There'll be a cap on money lines, both high and low on that, as well as the type of bets you can make too, and the minimums and maximums will stay the same as they were. So, anyways, I'm excited to see it, and I think a lot of people always talk about like how much better they are than me and whatever, and you might be, you might be. It's definitely possible. I don't know. I think because I do so many videos, and I've always been out there, right? I've never been one of these cappers that kind of like you never see them anywhere. You only hear like their very best, cherry picked plays or whatever. For me, it's like I always give out tons of free picks and tons of plays, so I'm exposed. So a lot of people take that as like I know everything or I think I know everything. No, I'm just giving my opinion on a game to try and moderate my email a little bit, because if I don't do that, I have 10,000 emails, and that's when I started doing it. And then, people seem to enjoy it. So I enjoy doing it. So that's why I do it. I do it because I love it. I certainly don't have to do this, anymore, the website and the picking and all that other stuff. We're kind of past that. I do it because I love doing it, hang out with Joe all day. And
I know. What could be better, right?
Well, I mean, how much time do we have? I'm just kidding.
As you pull out the list, I'm like, all of this.
It's like the judge looking at my traffic report. It's like this is the judge. Like, it's like, let me see your driver. It's like, but it's like, imagine being like 4 pages and he's got the glass.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got a deplorable driving record here. Anyways, we've got Chris Ruffalo with us next. Got a good long show. These Sunday shows are basically 2-hour shows these days, right? So
they are.
Ruffalo's been back there for a while. He's been doing those hockey videos. He's also been working on the Sports Chat Place YouTube channel, which I'm really excited about, because that's, of course, where I started on YouTube and doing videos. And I plan on doing some contributions. And I know Joe is going to do some with me, whether she knows it or likes it or not. She will.
You want to spend more time with me? Perfect, Mitch.
What I want to do at Sports Chat, and let me bring Ruffalo in, and he'll be doing this with us as well, and maybe we'll get some of the other cappers to help us with this too, is I really want everyone to see the betting tools section at Sports Chat. I think that our betting tool section is brand new. It's phase 1. We're 2 weeks in, or a week and a half in, to a 2-year build. And we know that it's a 2-year build. But I believe that what we have already in our betting tool section at Sports Chat Place and Pick Dogs is the best betting tool section on the entire internet. I'm not just saying that to say that we are, or any of that, because other people say, "Oh, I'm the best at this. We have the best this or this." No, this really is the best. And I'm not just saying that, or I'm not just whatever. It is the best. Take a look, and you tell me who has a better betting tool section than we have at Sports Chat Place for free. It's what other people charge for, but better. And like I said, we're a week and a half in to a 2-year build of what you're going to see there. And I'm really excited to do videos just to show everyone just how deep you can go into it. It looks on the surface like there's only a few categories there, and that's because everything is fully customizable. So while it's one page, there's 4,000 ways to look at the data and 4 different ways to pull in data, and with all the different sports, the props. I mean, the prop tool alone has been straight money. I've got so many emails about it. Speaking about straight money, what's happening, Chris?
I thought you were going to throw to me when you said deplorable driving record, and that's when I was like,
You're like, you've been spying on me again, Mitch.
It's like, I didn't think you had access to everything.
It's what I do.
He knows everything.
It's what I do.
No, you're right. That Sports Chat Place betting tool section, absolutely outstanding. A lot of comprehensive coverage, and I never knew there was a prop bet for over 2.5 when Ryan Tannehill eats a grilled cheese sandwich before a game. But I think that's what we have on the website pretty much.
Yeah, Pick Dogs has a lot of those as well, more dog oriented and a lot of dog angles and things of that nature at Pick Dogs. At Sports Chat, it's kind of more like just a all-in-one betting place, which is exciting to see. But yeah, I'm also, like I said, I want to do videos kind of explaining and kind of showing people what we have there, as far as betting tools, and I'll be doing that with you. So surprise. Anyway, and Joe will too. But anyways,
more the merrier. I enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun.
Surprise to both of us, Chris.
But it's a good surprise.
It's a great
surprise.
Best kind of surprise.
I give it a week, Chris, and I'll ask you the same thing.
What do you?
That's okay. It's okay, Joe. I got the Tylenol on standby. I'll send you a box.
Chris has been with us a long time, so he knows. He knows me.
Yeah.
What do you got for us today, Chris, for the NFL?
And I also know your love of the Dallas Stars. That's an inside joke. But anyways,
Can't wait to hear that one.
No, I got a couple games for you guys today. The first one I'll start with, though, I'm going to look at this Carolina Panthers Atlanta Falcons game, and now don't go rushing to dust off that Sam Darnold jersey just yet. The stock is still low on Darnold, but you look at the Atlanta Falcons and their 3 wins this season. Yes, they're coming off back-to-back wins over the Dolphins and that London game against the Jets, and they have a win over the Giants this season. I want to do the slow clap for emphasis, but it's probably not going to work here. In those 2 games, the Falcons defensively made Tua and Zach Wilson look like all-pro quarterbacks out there. And, I'm just not sold on the Falcons defensively. Yes, they have the better offense side-by-side against Carolina. But this Carolina defense is going to be the best that Atlanta's faced in some time. Carolina's supposed to get Stephon Gilmore in for this game. I just think, Carolina not getting enough credit here. I know they lost 25-3 to the Giants last week, but I think this is a spot where they bounce back. I think the defense plays their part and gives Darnold enough support that he can make some plays and get them a win. So I'm not looking at the points here. I'm going to look at Carolina right on the money line at plus 140.
Joe?
Chris, firstly, I'm loving that someone's finally having love with me with this Panthers team. I'm not as brave as you. I would be taking them plus the points because we've seen what they've done week in and week out. But you're right. They are due for this win. They're due for this bounce back. I really do have faith in Sam Darnold, and I know he's been playing atrocious the last couple of games, but we've seen him prior to that have some really good games. I think this is one of the games that they need to win. They need to beat Atlanta. So I agree with you. They probably should come out and win this one straight up.
I like the Falcons in this one. I'm so lost on the Panthers here. They just seem to be in a tailspin, and without McCaffrey, they don't seem to have a lot of answers. I know Gilmore comes back here, but the Falcons do have a lot of weapons, and this team really 3 years removed from the Super Bowl, right? 3 years. So still have some pieces of that puzzle left, and they have, some other guys there as well. I don't know. I liked what was going on in Carolina, and now I kind of really don't like it. So I think this, I don't have a premium play or even a bet on this game. We all know it's like doesn't take much to get me to place a bet on a game.
Maybe at halftime.
Could be one of those.
Oh, we're betting it on halftime.
All right. Probably betting it halftime. Probably throw it in a parlay. All right, Chris, you got another pick for us?
Yeah, I got another one, and we're gonna take a look at this LA Rams and Houston Texans matchup. And the Texans were hopeful that they were gonna get Tyrod Taylor back for this game. Hasn't shaken out, so that means we got to get Davis Mills for one more week. But if you're like me, that just means one more week that we can bet against this terrible Houston Texans offense. I mean, since Mills made his first start in week 3, the Texans have averaged 7.8 points per game, and they put up 10 points or less in 4 of those 5 games. And that's, including the last 2 weeks where the Texans haven't scored a touchdown. They've scored a combined 8 points. And, that's not going to cut it even close against the Los Angeles Rams. Only allowed 15.7 points per game in their last 3 games. Forced 8 turnovers in that span. And I know, Detroit had a chance last week to cover a big number against the Detroit Lions. But I think there were other things at play, that double revenge angle with Jared Goff trying to get revenge against the Rams and, Stafford against the Lions. But this one, I think there's just a clear path for a Rams dismantling of this abhorrent Houston Texans team. So give me the Rams laying the big number. I think they win this one by at least 3 touchdowns.
Got some big line movers this morning, and this is one of them. I'm seeing 17s on this game, and plenty of them. So it's not just like we see one 17 out there. We're seeing a lot of 17s out there. I'm going to guess this one will be 17 across the board before it's all said and done. The other big mover is so far is that Browns game. I'm seeing 5s and 5.5s even. So it's a little bit bigger mover than this. But Joe, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, this line terrifies me. 17.5 points is so many, but this Rams team is by far, not even a question, the better team in this. Houston Texans, I want them to get this loss so bad, and they will get a loss here today against this Rams team. The question is, are the Rams going to want to blow them out? This is one of those games I'm not gonna bet either side with this spread. It's way too many points for me to come out and do. I would be looking at those team totals though, and really betting this at halftime, looking at that second half, because I think this is a great opportunity with value. Best bet is we come into this halftime with the Texans have kept it competitive in this first half, and then we kill the Rams in the second and make a lot of money there. So I'm going to quickly, Mitch, while you talk about this, look at what the team total is for the Rams. I just want to see that quick.
Yeah, I think that, the Texans are as bad as we've seen, and I think they're even packing it in to go even lower than this. And, we saw the Rams last week against the Lions kind of get caught off guard, looked like they had taken them very lightly, and they get hit with an onside kick early. They get hit with they're down 14-0, right, in that game, 10-0, 14-0 right out of the gate. I don't think that's going to happen this week. I think this is going to be a one-sided game, and I don't see how I don't see how the Texans are going to have many answers here for them. I just don't see it on either side of the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at the Rams team total is 31.5. But when we look at the Texans, it's only 14.5. I'm liking that under. I think the Texans really struggled to score in this one. So I would be taking the Texans team total under 14.5.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that as well. Chris, what do you got for sale today at Pick Dogs?
Well, I got a couple things for sale. I got my NFL Insider's Edge 3-pack, 3 plays on the board. Absolutely love these 3 plays. Or, I've loved giving out these money line dogs on the Sunday show. And I was able to sniff out another 3 that I put in a package as well. My hot dog stand, 3 dogs on the board that I absolutely think are worth placing a bet on this weekend. And I also got a Sunday Slam 5-pack if you want to take a break from the NFL for whatever reason, or you want to just get something else going. I got 2 NBA plays and 3 NHL plays in that package, $34.95. Or like we talked about earlier, those long-term passes, some of your best value considering all the sports are starting to overlap and bleed together. And while we were while I was in the green room, put together that 2-month pass till the end of 2021. Got it for $300 over at the website. Get yourself a taste of the rest of the plays for the end of the season and make yourself some money heading into 2022.
So yesterday I gave out the Red Wings on the puck line here on the shows, the Mitchie Pucks and cash. The Maple Leafs were an ungodly -300 by the time they dropped the puck in last night. So we got plus money on that thing. Today, Mitchie Pucks likes the Ducks again. I've been all over the Ducks this season. I don't know. They've just been super good on the puck line. And most of the Mitchie Pucks plays are puck line, either plus or minus the goals. I think in this one with Anaheim, you lay the puck in a half, and I think they're going to lay the wood to Montreal in this one. It's the Mitchie Pucks. 4 p.m. Eastern time start.
I can't disagree with you, at least from at least an Anaheim perspective. I don't know if I go to the -1.5, but again, I'm not Mitchie Pucks, so I would lean towards Anaheim here.
Who asked you? Oh, I did. That's right. Anyways.
And I like the under 5.5 in that one. I think Montreal's goal scoring struggles are legit this season.
Any hockey pick for anybody here? Little, you got the degenerate time slot there with the Rangers and the Kraken, but any games out here that you don't have a premium on that you can give us a quick pick?
You know what I do, but I'll still give it out. I like the Columbus Blue Jackets here. I think the New Jersey Devils overpriced at home, and Columbus, some fantastic goaltending going on. They dealt with some unfortunate incidents in the off season that has led Elvis Merzlikins to sort of play inspired hockey, and he's looking like a Vezina contender already this season. He's 4-1 with a goals against average under 2. I think New Jersey struggles here. I think Columbus at plus money is a great bet.
All right. Well, there you have it. Chris Ruffalo, of course, member of the Puck Dogs, does our hockey videos, drive-through, does the Sports Chat YouTube channel. Definitely, he's out there. Anyways, thanks, Chris, again for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow on the drive-through, right?
Yep, absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Have a great
one. Best
of
luck, Chris.
Good luck, guys.
Once again, Chris Ruffalo, one half of the Puck Dogs. Of course, we will bring in the other half of the Puck Dogs, Rod Zwacky, up next. And
yeah, now I'm disappointed. Chris had that black shirt on, but not the powdered donuts that you requested.
Yeah, I did request
Got
powdered
halfway
donuts.
there.
Maybe we'll have to have a powdered donut eating contest. I can definitely scarf a donut with the best of them.
I'm going to leave that in your hands, then, Mitch.
Yeah, I can Kobayashi. You know, when I really apply myself.
Are you a water dipper?
No, I don't eat hot dogs, but I'm a.
It's not the same strategy as donuts and hot dogs?
No, I can dunk. You know, I don't mind.
You ever done a pie eating contest with like pudding and like gummy worms in it? My son has done a couple of those.
No, but I'm available.
That could be quite the show.
Well, speaking of pie eating contest, we got Rod here with us. He's in his sister's basement, banished to the basement. How's it going, Rod?
Hey, Rod.
It's going. It's another Sunday.
Rod went against my Canes yesterday and felt the wrath of TVD. But
it happens.
It happens. I've been on the wrong side of a Zwacky bet myself, so happens. Anyways, got NFL Sunday. We know, we'll be around for the premium and VIP shows, which will be following this show. But what do you got for us today?
All right, we're going to start with this 49ers and Bears game. I like the under. I see the line dropping, and it's dropping for good reason. They're begging you to take that over. I ain't touching that over. You look both of these offenses, and the Bears offense averaging 14 points a game. 49ers 22 points a game. And these defenses are definitely not too bad. 49ers ranked 6th on D. And you look at the Bears ranked 11th on D. I think both defenses are pretty good, and they come to play in this game. And the offenses being anemic is what they are. I like the under. 49ers 6-2 to the under. Their last 8 following a straight-up loss. They're also 19-7 to the under. Their last 26 off a double-digit loss at home. They're also 5-2 to the under. Their last 7 on the road. When you look at the Bears, they're 6-0 to the under their last 6 games. They're also 17-5 last 22 at home to the under. The under 22-7 the last 29 off of straight-up loss with the Bears here. I like the under. I see the reason why it's going down because they want you on that over. I'm picking the under.
This could be some of the worst football we see today is going to happen, and right there at Soldier Field. Joe, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, Rod, as soon as you said that 14 points for the Bears that they are averaging, it really struck me hard. I went and looked at the home team total points for them. It is under 17.5. I think that's money all day long, under 17.5. I don't think they get more than their average in this game. This is going to be an ugly game for the Bears today.
Yeah, this is unwatchable football is what this is. This is about as low as it gets. I like the under as well. I think this is a game where the defense and special teams, meaning kickers, will score more points than the actual offenses. I do think that this is that. This is that game. So if there's a prop on that, by all means, I would jump on it.
Oh, absolutely. Bears aren't having a good day.
Let's see what the first score in that game, defensive score, is. First touchdown.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty good bet.
Yep. Or defensive score all the way. First touchdown
how about
score.
No touchdowns.
First touchdown score. San Francisco defense plus 2,000. Chicago defense plus 3,100. I like that one. I'm going to put a little something on. That's something I can bet on. Chicago defense special teams plus 3,100.
The books think Justin Fields' passing yardage could go over 184.5. There's no way. That's
in how many
easy
games?
Money.
In how many games does he get to do that?
Right? Wow.
And, I mean,
under all day long.
Maybe by Thanksgiving.
Wow, I can't believe they gave him such a high number, 184.5. That's crazy.
With that San Francisco pass rush, good luck.
Going under. Another one I found I'm going to bet first thing this morning.
Rod, just the one pick, or you got another one for us?
I got another one for you. For me, I'm gonna go against Clappy, and I usually like Clappy, but this Jaguars team, they slowly that offense is been slowly rolling and getting better, and that they're 10th in the NFL on the rush, and they're gonna go against the Seattle D, who's 30th against the rush. This Jaguars team can run right over Seattle in this one. They can control the clock, control the ball. I know our buddy Jovan like the over. I like the under. I think Jacksonville. They just control the clock. They run the ball. Keep it out of Seattle's hands. And even if you put it in Geno Smith's hands, how many points has Seattle been racking up? 21.4 a game is their average. I don't see this as a blowout, shootout type game. I know the defenses, you look and you're like, oh, these are two awful defenses. But the Jags are going to run the ball. And they're going to just chew the clock. So for me, this one, I think it's way too many points. Someone's O's got to go. Jacksonville 0-2 on the road. Seattle 0-3 at home. So somebody's O's going to go today. Give me the Jags plus the 3.5. I think this is a 3-point game all day.
Joe, you betting against Clappy?
Yeah, all day, twice on Sunday. If I have to bet this, I'm with you, Rod. I'm going to take the Jags. I think, maybe they come in with that tiny little bit of momentum and ride with that in this one. I'm just not loving what I'm seeing out of the Seahawks. I'm not sold on this team at all. I have to go against them in this one, even though they are at home. So give me Jacksonville plus the points.
I'll take Seattle all day long. They're going to kill them. Jaguars suck. I don't care what anybody says. I'm a Clappy guy, and I'm not jumping off the Clappy bandwagon anytime soon.
Clap.
Be a lot of this going on.
I jumped off the Clappy bandwagon. No bandwagon.
Lot of Clappy. Whole lot of Clappy.
Rod, everyone in my area is a Clappy fan.
Good.
Huge Seattle
and they should be.
Following here.
And they should be. Rod, what do you got for sale at Pig Dogs?
Well, for me, we're on a nice winning day Friday, winning day Saturday. We're going to keep it rolling here. I got a 3-pack of early games in the NFL, 3-pack of afternoon games, or you can get all 6 NFL plus my one 10-star NBA rim rocker in my Supreme Sunday pack. So you can get a 3-pack of morning, 3-pack of afternoon, or you can get them all in one package over at Pick Dogs Premium. Click the link below.
All right.
Now's the time to get on long term. We got sports going all over. You got hockey, you got football, you got the World Series game going. So much sports going on right now. College basketball's coming as well. So now's the time.
All right.
Next 6 months going to be loaded.
We'll see.
I have a 6-month deal, half a year pass, $600. Great deal.
Yep, $100
I'll get you right on through to the end of March Madness.
Yep. About $3.
Great deal. Jump aboard.
Probably less than $1 a pick. Anyways, thanks, Rod, for joining us. We'll see you in just a couple minutes on the premium and VIP shows.
Thanks, Rod.
Thank you.
Rod's
looking good, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rod. I appreciate it.
I know. Look at that Rush shirt.
Got next in, we have Brian Bitler, our last guest, as always. Last and, well, we could say not least, or we could say, I don't know. I guess we won't say anything. But anyways, Brian, welcome to the show. Looks like he's sleeping.
Yep, I'm in a good mood. Awful winning day yesterday.
Either frozen or sleeping.
Well, I'm here. I don't know.
Looks to be.
Who's frozen or sleeping?
Looks frozen.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but you know what? You're frozen in a good post, so that's
so you
okay.
can still hear me? You can still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then
hear you, see you. You just look like
well, that stinks because I'm all dressed up.
Okay.
I'm
Captain
my favorite
Obvious.
handicapper. Captain Obvious, my favorite handicapper.
I love it. It's a great look.
Anyway, for my free pick today, and I believe it's easily could have been a premium pick for me. New Orleans Saints here, plus the points. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are not the next coming of the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Tampa beating the crap out of the bottom barrel teams this year. with their lone good win coming against the Dallas Cowboys, and even that's kind of questionable for me. New Orleans is never an easy place to play in that Superdome. That stadium should be rocking. We saw the Saints come up big week 1 versus a very good Packers team. So this team has the talent to hang in with anyone, especially on defense. Public humping all up on Tampa Bay as usual. On the road, give me the Saints at home. Saints 7-2 against the spread last 9 games as a home underdog, and the Buccaneers just 1-5 against the spread last 6 against these New Orleans Saints. I think New Orleans has a chance to knock them off outright, but I'm going to sprinkle some on the money line and take the points.
Joe?
This one terrifies me to take a Saints team that is just so inconsistent. The Bucs are one of the better teams in the league, and 5 points, it's not a stretch for them to come on the road and cover. But this one I think I'm leaning towards staying away from, because I really do think the Saints have every chance, every opportunity, but which Saints team are we going to see show up? Because these inconsistencies we've seen out of them, just I don't love. So if I have to bet this right now, I'm taking the Bucs minus the points, because I think they're clearly the better team.
I don't know. This is only the Saints' second home game of the season, and I think New Orleans on Halloween afternoon night is going to be a pretty tough place to play on the road. Not that Tom Brady hasn't played in tough buildings throughout his entire career, but the Bucs have had a pretty easy go of it, as Brian was saying, catching teams when they're down, catching them in, fairly easy spots, and, not exactly wowing them. I mean, I don't think the win over the Bears last week is anything to write home about, and I think they're susceptible. There's a revenge factor for the Bucs because the Saints swept them twice in the regular season last year, but the Bucs I think beat them in the playoffs in that Super Bowl run. So I think that I think this game's probably a little lower scoring than people think.
Yep, I agree. 2 good defenses going at it. Yep. And when I looked, it was the obvious play today from Captain Obvious.
Captain Obvious play.
I like Captain Obvious. Great outfit.
But anyway, so what do you have for sale at Pick Dogs?
I got looking for 3 straight winning days. Going to try to have a solid one today. I got my Sunday Super Sharp NFL 3-pack. It's all-day football, 1 p.m. game, a 4 p.m. game, and the primetime game, all for $40 at pickdogs.com, premium picks. Or log into that YouTube VIP. Yesterday, gave out an NHL winner and an NBA winner, so it's going to be a good show today.
I think we've been on a little heater with those premium and VIPs. I gave out the over in that Virginia-BYU game, I know, in the premium and the VIP I was 1-1 in there. I had Syracuse and then Missouri.
3-1 for me altogether on the YouTube premium.
Laid an egg. I think I gave out a bonus play too. But anyways, all right. But that wraps up our show. It's been a good one. Nice, pretty thorough. Joe, anything that we left out that you want to talk about? Or?
Did we leave any game off the board? That's my question. I'm just looking at all the games here. Let me just see. I think we've talked about every single game.
I think we did too.
Yeah, I think we covered them all. So
good coverage.
I don't want to repeat myself.
Oh, you can. We got time.
Should I say Jared Goff again and the Lions? Could get an upset today.
I think we're good.
No, I'm not going to prove my point there. I really, you know what, you guys, when Rod came in and we looked at the Chicago Bears 49ers game and we looked at those prop bets, I am absolutely loving the Bears team total under that 17.5 and Justin Fields under that 184.5 passing yards. I think both of those are money all day long in the bank. So I think those are the best things that I saw this morning when we were in the show.
All right.
What about you, Mitch?
I've got a lot of premium picks, so kind of I'm there. But I think of the ones that are not premium picks, I like the Chargers the best against the Patriots.
Okay, I like it. Go Bolts, go.
Yeah, I just think the Patriots, 2 wins against the Jets and a win against the Texans doesn't do it for me. I think playing the Cowboys close, and that's great. You were home in that game. Going to Chargers who had a week off and, didn't exactly play their best game heading into the bye. They've had 2 weeks to think about it. I think that pass rush. We know Mac Jones is going to be checking it down. And I think that that they have guys in that. The Chargers have plenty of guys that can nail guys that are being checked down to, and I don't think they have any answers to cover Keenan Allen either. So I think this one could get out of hand. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you. Smash the like button. You still got about a half hour, 40 minutes to enter our NFL Office Pool contest. Free to enter, cash prizes. You can find it on our Pick Dogs Twitter account. You're going to have to retweet it anyway. I think next week we're going to change the rules and base the prize on the number of retweets. The base.
Oh, that's great.
Yep. So thanks everyone for joining us. Thanks everyone for joining us. Have a winning day. As always, Joe Madden, pleasure. We'll be back at halftime of the early games for free, of course. The late games we do now and the Sunday night game. So a lot of Mitch and Joe to come, and of course the premium and VIP shows following this. Thanks everyone. Have an awesome day. Make it a winning day. I'm gonna try like crazy to act more professional tomorrow.